It's Thursday, November 6th. Today, an uphill battle. A Manitoba family's race against time to get approval of a medication for their son's rare condition. The showdown in the U.S. Supreme Court as the justices consider Trump's sweeping use of tariffs. And no stone left alone, the program teaching students the importance of Remembrance Day. Your Morning Winnipeg starts right now. Good morning, Manitoba. Happy Thursday to you. Thank you so much for joining us here on Your Morning Winnipeg. Terry Gale is back this morning, which is so nice to see you again. And Ainsley McPhail is live at the WAG today telling us about the Crafted sale. It's really a cool show. There's a fashion show. There's all kinds of really cool elements. If you're looking for gift ideas, it's a place to be as well. So we're going to break it down for you throughout the morning. But the weather, it felt cooler today. I took out my winter coat.
Ooh, today could be the day, Rochelle. I know we always wonder, when are we going to see those first flakes of snow flying? Maybe. I mean, to be fair, some places, many places throughout the province have seen those first few flakes. I know we've been pretty lucky here in Winnipeg, but that luck may come to an end today. Right now, we're sitting at -1 with southeast winds, 13 kilometers per hour. The pressure is falling. The humidity is sitting at 85%. But we were still able to see that moon through the little thin layer of clouds this morning. So there was certainly that to enjoy this morning, or the northern lights last night. Oh my goodness, I've got some incredible photos to show you. People all around the city were seeing them as early as 9 p.m. last night. Anyway, then the clouds moved in. It was clear up until then, but with those clouds, you can see on our satellite image the precipitation that's coming with it, showing up gray. So for now, that is in fact flurry activity. As we continue on through the day, we might see that showing up as more green rain. Showers are possible. Certainly here in the southeast, it looks like we're more likely to see a bit of that shower activity, or some of the pink is the freezing rain. But through southwestern Manitoba, a little more likely to deal with the flurries. Now, into the overnight hours, we could just be seeing some straight up flakes flying. And then by tomorrow morning, that system starts to clear out. So we'll get it back to the sunshine again. The cooler temperatures, though, they are going to be noticed, but still technically above seasonal. I mean, 1 degree would be a normal daytime high, and we're looking to be up around 4 degrees for today. A little bit cooler over the next couple of days, so certainly Friday into Saturday, not even cracking the freezing mark with our daytime highs, never mind the lows. But we will see a little more sunshine after that precipitation moves through today.
Thank you, Terry. Some relief for a Steinbach family after months of seeking provincial approval for a medication that could improve the quality of care for their dying son. 5-year-old Leo DuPont was diagnosed in June with Niemann-Pick disease type C, a rare genetic disorder that causes neurological damage over time. It's been an uphill battle, but some good news came to the family yesterday. Here's CTV's Joseph Bernacki.
Having a child that is ill is a nightmare, right, for any parent. Having a child that's terminally ill is another level.
The last 4 months have been a battle for Kayla Krentz DuPont.
This has become my full-time job, trying to secure care for my child, trying to secure medication for my child.
Krentz DuPont's 5-year-old son Leo was diagnosed in June with Niemann-Pick type C. It's a rare genetic disorder that leads to progressive neurological damage over time, affecting his ability to walk, speak, and use of his arms and legs.
Leo's body does not metabolize the same way another person's body does, and it's the storage of lipids in his liver and eventually brain that have these neurological effects.
After weeks of sending emails to the province asking for coverage of the expensive medication, Minister of Health, Seniors and Long-Term Care Uzoma Asseguara contacted the family today. Asseguara said the drug Miglustat will be granted exceptional drug status by the province. The family says this drug is the first step towards prolonging Leo's life.
I was able to call Kayla earlier today and share with her that I have approved the medication, and that our department will work with her and her family every step of the way to Leo being able to start the medication as soon as possible.
But Krentz DuPont says it's not over. The family is also seeking access for Miplyffa, another medication used in combination with Miglustat. The challenge? Miplyffa has not yet been approved for use by Health Canada. As he folds up Leo's laundry, Mario DuPont says the first medication can't come fast enough for his son.
We really want access to this medication so that Leo can live the best life that he can live while he's here with us.
Joseph Bernacki, CTV News, Steinbach.
Kayla Krantz-Dupont says she was in shock Wednesday afternoon when she received the phone call. She's not sure when treatment can start. Minister Uzoma Azaguera is encouraging Manitobans to reach out their office if they have concerns about receiving approval in the province. There's apprehension from some First Nations organizations following the Liberal government's first budget under Prime Minister Mark Carney. The Southern Chiefs organization says while there are some promising funding announcements, they lack detail on how they will be implemented. For example, the SCO says while the budget earmarks some $2.8 billion for housing in Indigenous communities, it says it's unclear how that money will make its way to those who need it most. SCO leadership says this isn't the first time First Nations communities have been promised major government spending on housing, and yet people continue to live in inadequate, overcrowded homes. They're also concerned about First Nations health care, saying cuts to Health Canada and the Public Health Agency of Canada will only make it more challenging to access care.
The numbers and the distinction for First Nations or the impact to First Nations is not clear in the budget, and so some of the budgetary items like for First Nations infrastructure is looped into provincial and territorial infrastructure budgets, and I believe that there needs to be a distinction there given that we have a treaty partnership with the Crown.
Wilson says she understands the federal government is in a difficult position as it continues to respond to tariff disputes with the United States, but that First Nations leadership needs to be at the table with Canada when financial decisions are made. Police in Kitchener, Ontario now think foul play was involved in the disappearance of a person who hasn't been seen since an act of arson gutted a home last month. The October 19th fire badly damaged the home where 25-year-old Eli Wood lived. Wood hasn't been seen since. Police initially called the disappearance suspicious and have now confirmed they suspect foul play. The Major Crimes Unit is investigating. A surge of deadly bear attacks have terrorized residents in northern Japan, forcing the country to deploy the military. At least 12 people have been killed and over 100 injured in the violent encounters. Attacks have been reported almost daily ahead of the hibernation season as the bears forage for food in residential areas. Soldiers will set box traps, assist local hunters, and help dispose of dead bears. It's a Remembrance Day history lesson you can't learn in a classroom. Wednesday morning, hundreds of local grade 6 students visited the grave sites of fallen soldiers. "600 students were bused to the Fields of Honor at Transcona Cemetery ahead of Remembrance Day. Each student placed a poppy on the grave of a veteran. The program, called No Stone Left Alone, started 11 years ago. It teaches youth the importance of Remembrance Day and participating in ceremonies.
Taking them out of the classroom, being here in the cemetery, right in front of the grave of which they're going to be honoring that soldier, very powerful. And I think a remembrance for them. They can look back at that and say, I was there.
An update now regarding the No Stone Left Alone ceremony that was scheduled for Brookside Cemetery today. That ceremony at Brookside has been canceled. The Canadian Museum for Human Rights is rolling out the red carpet for our troops in advance of Remembrance Day. The museum is offering free admission for those who served and their families. Now through Remembrance Day, veterans and active service members can visit the CMHR with up to 4 family members free of charge. The free admission offer is available between the hours of 1 and 5 p.m. The CMHR says it will also be honoring the sacrifices of our service members by projecting the image of a large red poppy on the side of the museum. Here's a look now what's going on in traffic at Confusion Corner. Looks like things are good here so far this morning. If you see any problems out on the streets, let us know, please. Let's go now to Ainsley McPhail, who's live at the WAG Calmar-York this morning. Good morning, Ainsley.
Good morning, Rochelle. Craft It is coming up this weekend and it kicks off tomorrow. They've been doing this for over a decade now, and it's the perfect opportunity to get those early Christmas gifts. Why? Because it's local. There's over 100 different vendors from 30 different communities. And these individuals, they're coming from near and far. So while you're getting some fantastic finds like clothing and woodwork from home here, Winnipeg, our North is being represented as well. And actually, the cast of North, some of those pieces you can actually see on 4 different levels of the museum. So it's part of your admission. Go in, do a little shopping, maybe meet the cast as well. And throughout the morning, we're going to be chatting with some of the artists too, as well as the Manitoba Crafts Council. Now, when we think about crafts and we think about art, of course, the WEG is a perfect opportunity to take and soak some of that in. But crafts are a really good way to either do it ourselves or have a piece of it with us for the holidays. Back to you.
Okay, and such unique pieces as well. Thank you, Ainsley. Let's go out to the rooftop now. How's it feeling out there, Terry?
I mean, cool, but that's just because I was where it was a little bit warmer. I mean, there's nothing wrong with these temperatures. We're still well above seasonal. As far as the temperatures themselves go, you'd typically be well below the freezing mark this time of morning, and we're coming right in at 0 degrees right now. So it is going to be another above seasonal day, but today could be that day that we see that first snowflake here in Winnipeg. I said earlier, I know other parts of the province have certainly seen some flakes already, but I don't think we've necessarily seen it here in Winnipeg, and that could all change. Southeast winds, they're 19 kilometers per hour, and those will also likely increase throughout the day today. The pressure is falling. The humidity is sitting at 82%. Standing out here waiting for the sun, but after the time change that will rise a little bit earlier, the moon this morning on my way into work was looking gorgeous and full, and last night it was the northern lights that were illuminating those skies, but right now we're still waiting for that sun to rise. That'll be happening in about an hour or a little more. As far as the sun goes, though, we won't likely see much of it today as the system of precipitation will be moving in. What we'll see depends on where those temperatures are sitting and what time it arrives. Now, for us, we're not likely to see that precipitation until later on into the afternoon. It'll be warm enough by then that we're most likely to see that in liquid form here in the southeast, but southwestern Manitoba could very well see some flurries today. And then as those temperatures start to drop off into the evening overnight hours, what starts as showers could change to flurries, and those first few flakes of snow could fall. We're taking a break right now, but we'll be back with Your Morning Winnipeg.
Weather is brought to you by ABC Fire and Safety, your CO2 refill store.
Good morning. A teen girl is dead and another is in custody following a reported assault in a Northern First Nations community. RCMP and paramedics were sent to a home in Opaskwayak Cree Nation near the Paw Saturday afternoon. There they found the body of a 15-year-old girl. Then on Tuesday, Mounties arrested a 17-year-old from the community. She's now charged with manslaughter. RCMP say the investigation is ongoing, but a spokesperson adds the alleged incident is not believed to be random and the two share a family connection. Investigators are not looking for any other suspects. The Manitoba legislature has passed a bill to detain people intoxicated on drugs such as meth for as long as 72 hours instead of 24. It comes after weeks of sparring over the fine details. Both the governing NDP and official opposition Progressive Conservatives agreed the change was needed to better deal with longer-lasting drug effects. However, the PCs wanted amendments to require annual reporting, limiting where these centers could operate, and requiring public consultation on new sites. All three were shot down by the NDP. In the end, the bill passed 51-1, with the lone independent MLA voting against it. The fall legislative session ends today. A major case on tariffs at the U.S. Supreme Court could have significant implications here in Canada. Even conservative justices, who make up the top court's majority, pressing Donald Trump's lawyer Wednesday on the president's sweeping use of tariffs, putting the cornerstone of his economic agenda in jeopardy. CTV's Joy Malvin has more on the showdown.
The handmaidens were back protesting President Donald Trump's tariffs outside the Supreme Court. The justices have to decide if the president had the authority to use a 1977 emergency statute to impose sweeping tariffs on more than 90 nations, including Canada.
President Trump has negotiated agreements worth trillions of dollars with major trading partners.
It's a congressional power, not a presidential power, to tax. And you want to say tariffs are not taxes, but that's exactly what they are.
Even conservative justices seemed skeptical. No other president has used the emergency law before to impose tariffs.
The exercise of the power is to impose tariffs, right? And the statute doesn't use the word tariffs.
But it uses the word regulate importation.
The tariffs have been challenged by businesses and a group of states after lower courts agreed the president overstepped his authority.
For nearly 40 years, my family has built this business from the ground up. Today, reckless tariffs threaten everything we've achieved.
Trump's tariffs have cost Canada billions of dollars in lost business, straining relations with the U.S. and with trade talks stalled over an Ontario anti-tariff ad.
Such trade barriers hurt every American worker.
This is like somebody's driving the train. We're kind of in the back cars, and we don't control its speed, and we don't control its destination.
With the president's tariffs hanging in the balance, the administration is preparing backup plans should the court rule against him. A swift decision is expected within weeks or months.
At least 12 people are now confirmed dead in the deadly crash of a UPS plane in Kentucky Tuesday night as dramatic new footage emerged of the aircraft. And a warning, it may be disturbing to some. Authorities say the cargo plane's wing caught fire and its engine fell off just before it crashed after taking off from Muhammad Ali International Airport in Louisville. A new study suggests there's a link between long-term melatonin use and a higher risk of heart failure, but the authors caution more research is needed before drawing any definite conclusions. In the study, which examined the health data of more than 130,000 adults, those who took melatonin for a year or longer had a 90% higher chance of heart failure within 5 years compared to those who didn't take melatonin. Melatonin users were also more than 3 times as likely to be hospitalized for heart failure and twice as likely to die from any cause. But the study had significant limitations. It does not show cause and effect. Researchers didn't have information on dosage amounts, and it hasn't yet been peer reviewed. There's a new giant downtown tribute to Winnipeg Stanley Cup winning hockey teams.
At the time, I was talking with John Jameson from the Manitoba Hockey Hall of Fame, and I said, this deserves a big wall.
This mural depicting the Winnipeg Victorias now graces the wall of a downtown building on Main Street near McDermott. Way back in 1896, the Victorias won their first Stanley Cup and won 2 more in 1901 and 1902. Winnipeg artist Jen Mosienko created the mural, and for the grandson of one of the players, it's a moving tribute.
My grandpa passed away before I ever had a chance to meet him, and but we got stories through my dad, we got stories through the media, so we knew about his accomplishments. In addition to hockey, he was a war hero, World War I. He was also a banker before he went off to the war.
The team's initial Cup victory celebration resulted in the first ever Stanley Cup parade, which took place through the streets of downtown Winnipeg. Manitoba Hockey Hall of Fame says there's room on the wall for when the Winnipeg Jets win their first Stanley Cup. Some road closures to remind you about this morning. Expect lane closures today on McPhillips Street between Story Road and Murray Avenue. The curb lanes on Dugald will be closing from Dawson Road north to Panet. And the northbound median lane will be closed following rush hour on Donald between Stradbrook and River. If you have any other traffic tips to share, please text them to us at 10400.
Traffic is brought to you by Curtis Carpets, Manitoba's flooring experts.
A look now through the Bath Fitter Live Eye. Bath Fitter, your bath and shower experts for more than 40 years. So we're just waiting around in the dark to see the sun rising, but even then we won't be seeing a whole lot of sunshine today. We will still luck in with well above seasonal temperatures coming in right now at the freezing mark, and typically we would be well below that. A fistful of degrees below freezing is a normal low temperature. So here we are starting at 0 degrees. There are a few places that have slipped below the freezing mark, but still coming in above seasonal. -4 is the coolest temperature that we're seeing this morning through Dauphin, Swan River, right up into the Paw, further into northern Manitoba. It does get a little bit colder yet. We've got -9 right now in Thompson, Lynn Lake at -14, and Churchill coming in at -12 this morning. So some double digits, certainly feeling the chill, and you may see a flake or two of snow in some of those parts of northern Manitoba as well. But the possibility is there that we could see a flake of snow falling over southern Manitoba as well. And there you can see the activity on the satellite image certainly getting close to Winnipeg. We'll see how that plays out. I think we're more likely to see just some showers later on today. but then that chance of flurries once those temperatures drop off into the evening, because today the temperatures will continue to rise, remaining above seasonal, getting up to 4 degrees. So not exactly balmy, but milder than you would expect for this time of year. There will likely be some of that precipitation, though, showing up later on into the afternoon and then into the evening. Overnight, as the temps drop, those showers could change to flurries. It'll clear out for tomorrow. We're getting the sunshine back, but some cooler temperatures to follow after that system passes through. So not even likely to crack the freezing mark for the next few days through the coming weekend. But for next week, oh, I got a boo from Director Kim. Welcome back, Terry. It's good to see you. 0 degrees for Monday, and then those temperatures will be on the rise once we look through the middle of next week. Here are the northern lights, and so many photos were sent in of them. People were viewing them right here in the city. This particular picture taken in White Ridge around 9 p.m. yesterday evening. You didn't even have to stay up too late. Thanks to Derek for this. Keep the pictures coming, please, to Winnipeg Weather at ctv.ca. We're taking a break, but we'll be back with Your Morning Winnipeg.
A closer look now at what is being described as the world's worst humanitarian crisis and the Canadians caught in the chaos of Sudan's civil war. CTV's Heather Wright spoke to Sudanese families calling on Canada to help save their loved ones.
10,000 kilometers separates Ashraf Ahmed from his family in Sudan. He tries to keep in touch with them and watches from Canada as his country spirals deeper and deeper into chaos.
The number of killed people and displaced make the war in Sudan the biggest tragedy in the recent history.
For more than 2 years, Sudan's army and the paramilitary group called the Rapid Support Forces, or RSF, have been embroiled in a bloody power struggle. The fighting has killed thousands of civilians and left nearly 25 million people facing acute hunger. Ottawa introduced special measures for Sudanese Canadians to help bring family members here. But Ahmed says the process is slow. His parents and in-laws were able to escape Sudan but are stuck abroad, waiting to come here. His mother-in-law passed away last year.
Our grandchildren, my children, were not able to see her.
The violence in Sudan is escalating. The city of El Fasher fell to rebel forces last week, with survivors describing scenes of horror. RSF fighters going house to house, killing civilians, raping women, and slaughtering patients in a hospital. Sadia Ara is a pharmacy technician in Ottawa, originally from El Fasher, and is calling on countries like Canada to do more to help end this conflict.
We enough about talking. We need action on the ground.
Ara was able to bring her mother to Canada in May, but worries that cuts to foreign aid announced in yesterday's budget will not only make the process harder, but also reduce the amount of aid Canada sends to Sudan. Ottawa has sent more than $100 million in aid since the conflict began.
Some human rights groups say Canadian weapons initially sent to the United Arab Emirates are being used in this conflict. The UAE denies arming the RSF. Prime Minister Mark Carney is expected to visit the UAE later this month, though it's not clear if the issue of weapons will be discussed. Heather Wright, CTV News, Toronto.
SpaceX has just extended its single-year launch record again.
2, 1. Engines full power and liftoff. Go SpaceX, go Starlink.
29 satellites aboard a Falcon 9 rocket have been launched from Cape Canaveral Space Force Station in Florida. It marked the 141st Falcon 9 liftoff of 2025 and SpaceX's 146th launch of the year overall. This mission saw the use of the first stage booster, demonstrating SpaceX's reusable rocket technology. After liftoff, the rocket's first stage returned to Earth, splashing down safely in the Atlantic Ocean.
Your Morning Winnipeg. Coffee is brought to you by Robin's Donuts, your favorite stop.
We'll be in the dark till about 7:26, but thanks to that time change, that's an hour earlier than, say, a few weeks back, well, even a week ago. 0 degrees is where we're sitting right now. Temperatures themselves are well above seasonal. -7 would be a normal low, so we're doing okay right now. In fact, a normal daytime high would be 1 degree, and we're practically there already. It's a little bit breezy. It's going to get stronger, those winds I'm talking about. Right now, out of the southeast, they're 19 kilometers per hour with the pressure falling and the humidity sitting at 82%. You probably, I mean, there's clouds out there, but on my way into work, I could still see that full moon shining so brightly behind those clouds. So if you wanted to step outside, you just need those extra warmer layers on to do so, and you'll probably want to keep them around throughout the day, even though those temperatures will still rise another couple degrees, and maybe a waterproof layer would be a good idea today, because here's what we're seeing on our satellite image, showing up starting right now in flurry form. That's because we're all around the freezing mark, or even a few degrees below freezing here through southwestern Manitoba. As the day goes on, we will likely see it kind of beginning in more liquid form, because it hasn't quite started over the Winnipeg area, and by the time it probably does, we'll be a little bit warmer. Headed to a high today of about 4 degrees. I already mentioned 1 would be normal for this time of year, so nothing wrong with where these temps are. The conditions, yes, maybe less than ideal, especially overnight, because the time has come that we're probably going to see some snow. Winds this afternoon could gust to about 40 kilometers per hour, and those stronger winds will be shifting out of the north overnight. That chance of flurries is there. Rain-snow mix as we drop down to -5, although -7 is a typical low temp for this time of year. And I mentioned 1 being a normal daytime high. We're not even cracking the freezing mark tomorrow. It will be nice to see some sunshine back again, but -3 and a little bit breezy, so you'll feel the chill of it all tomorrow. And through the weekend, we won't crack the freezing mark. We will do better for the start of next week, and even better yet as the sunshine returns.
Police in Winnipeg are hoping you can help them find a vehicle tied to an ongoing shooting investigation. Police are looking for this red 4-door 2019 Kia Sportage. It has a black decal running across the front and rear doors. This after a 28-year-old man allegedly shot his girlfriend early Sunday morning at a home on Wellington Crescent. Investigators believe the suspect then drove this vehicle east of the city and abandoned it near Deacon's Corner. They add it could have been driven down various back roads, so they're asking people in the area to check security footage. You're told not to approach the vehicle if you find it, as it may contain evidence. The suspect was previously arrested and charged with aggravated assault, while the victim sustained a life-altering injury but survived. None of the allegations have been tested in court. An act of goodwill thwarted by thieves. A community's month-long sock drive had a disappointing end after someone stole more than 100 pairs of socks meant to help people in need. But as CTV's Danton Unger reports, one volunteer is doing what she can to put her best foot forward.
First thing I thought of was like, my socks are gone.
Ashley Monroe was met with an unwelcome surprise when she opened up her car door in downtown Monday afternoon.
This was all that they left me, was 1 or 2 pairs.
Someone had smashed her window and made off with 164 pairs of socks.
It was heartbreaking.
The socks had been part of a month-long donation drive organized by the St. Laurent Métis local, collected for people in need. Monroe says she had been on her way to deliver the load here in Winnipeg when all this happened.
After collecting for so long and seeing them gone, the first thing I thought was, oh no, I'm letting these people down now. I don't have them to donate.
It was all part of Main Street Project's Socktober campaign.
Every year aiming to collect socks to help us get through the winter months here at Main Street Project. Our goal this year was to collect about 30,000 pairs of socks.
Main Street Project's interim director of development, Cindy Titus, says so far more than 14,000 socks have been collected, with more coming in every day.
People experiencing homelessness are definitely at risk of feet-related health issues, particularly during the winter months when it's really cold and wet. They often don't have proper footwear, including socks, and so getting people a clean, dry pair of warm socks is really essential to keeping them healthy throughout the next few months.
As for the stolen socks, Monroe says she hasn't given up.
Because I'm replacing the socks, making sure we still have our 164 pairs.
But she still hopes the socks, wherever they are now, will end up on the feet of those in need.
I just hope that whoever took them is, handing them out to the people who need them. That's what they were for.
Danton Unger, CTV News, Winnipeg.
Main Street Project says even though Socktober is over, socks are still welcome, along with essentials for the winter months like warm jackets and mitts. More details can be found on their website. The president of Mexico is pressing charges after she was groped by a man who she says appeared drunk as she was speaking with supporters in Mexico City. Video shows the man approaching President Claudia Sheinbaum from behind and trying to kiss and wrap his arms around her. The man is now in police custody, suspected of inappropriately touching 3 women, including the president, on the same day. Sheinbaum says she felt a responsibility to press charges on behalf of all the women of Mexico. The incident raised questions about her personal safety, but Sheinbaum says she will not increase her security or change how she interacts with people. China is once again allowing group tours to Canada. China stopped group tours abroad 5 years ago during the pandemic. Our country was left off a list of approved destinations in 2023 when China loosened restrictions on travel. The decision came after Prime Minister Mark Carney and Chinese President Xi Jinping met last week. Tourists are spending record amounts of money in Manitoba.
We all need travel.
Last year, visitors spent $1.89 billion in our province. Travel Manitoba says it's the third year in a row tourism spending has set new records. In total, 10.6 million people visited our province in 2024. That's 200,000 more than the year prior. However, officials are warning these robust numbers may not hold in 2025 due to challenges such as the wildfires and growing economic uncertainty. The opening of the first physical Shein store in Paris was met by eager shoppers and protesters. Protesters showed up inside and outside the store to denounce allegations Shein sells items made by forced labor in China. Bargain hunters, meanwhile, said prices at the store are higher than they are online. Shein's presence in France has set off a debate between fast fashion and high fashion. And taking a look now, Portage at Polo Park. Looks like traffic is moving well in this part of the city. No issues to tell you about at this point in the drive. If you see problems out there, though, please let us know. Here's a look at your gas prices. The Canadian average stands at $1.35. The provincial average is lowered at $1.27. In Winnipeg, the average is $1.26, and the lowest price in the city is $1.16. All this info is on gasbuddy.com.
The Price at the Pump is brought to you by the Kidney Foundation. Help by donating your card today.
Coming up, we're live at the Wancamera York this morning. They're getting ready for Crafted, which is happening this weekend. We'll tell you more after the break.
Weather is brought to you by Canadian Footwear, helping you find the perfect fit.
All right, it's beautiful to kick off your morning, well above seasonal as far as where these temperatures are sitting right now. Sure, we're just at the freezing mark, but normal lows would be -7. We're certainly doing okay. We're a lot closer right now to a normal daytime high, which will likely be surpassing in a matter of hours today. Southeast winds are 19 kilometers per hour. The pressure falling and the humidity sitting at 82%. We are noticing a few more clouds out here. I actually can't see them. I've been seeing them on the satellite image. It's too dark to even really get an indication of how many and what kind of clouds we're looking at. Although a couple hours ago when I was on my way into work, I did notice they were right in front of the full moon. Not that that moon wasn't able to kind of shine through them, but there were certainly some clouds out here this morning, and there's likely to be more, bringing some precipitation. We might be seeing some flurries across southern Manitoba today, more likely in the southwest, here in the southeast. By the time that system rolls over us, our temperatures will likely be warm enough that it begins as showers, but then changes to flurries overnight as those temperatures start to drop off a bit. We're going to check in now with Ainsley McPhail, see what she's up to this morning. Hey, Ainsley.
Hi, good morning, everybody. Good morning, Terry. Crafted is coming to the WAG for its 11th year. Katrina Barsky joins us now to tell us all about it. Is it the 11th year that it's in, or is it going into its 12th year? It's hard to keep track anymore.
It's the 11th year, and we are very excited. It gets bigger and better every year. And this year, we're going to have over 100 artists from 30 different communities across Manitoba and the North, and we're just really, really excited to share that with all the Winnipeggers and anybody else who's coming by the gallery this weekend.
Mm-hmm. And when you talk about the North, we're searching near and far. Like, there's a huge diversity when it comes to these pieces. I won't ask you to name every single community because you did say there's 30 of them, but how far are we really reaching?
We're going across Northwest Territories all the way to eastern Quebec, so eastern northern Quebec. So it's all across the entire country of Canada.
Wow. And what sort of pieces can people expect to see when they come to Crafted?
So there's going to be works from woodworks, there's going to be ceramics, textiles, lots of fashion pieces this year, lots of jewelry, other kinds of fabric art, metals and glass, and all the things you come to expect from Crafted.
Mm-hmm. And cultural attire, too, that can be seen through fashionable pieces. The cast of North of North will actually be here so you can meet them.
Yes, you can. So this past Tuesday, we had a fashion show where lots of designers from Manitoba and the North were showcasing their works, and all of those artists and their fashion pieces are going to be available for sale during the weekend, and you will be able to meet some of the cast from North of North as well, which is really exciting.
Yeah, something else that I love about this too is that when you come, it's part of your admission to the galleries as well, so you can enjoy the beautiful pieces around us.
Yes, so admission for this weekend is $10, and it includes every single exhibition space, gallery space in the WAG. And you get to shop from tons of different wonderful vendors as well. It's a great price.
It is. Before we're at a time, though, when can people take advantage of this?
So the sale starts on Friday, November 7th from 11 to 9, and then on Saturday and Sunday, it's from 11 to 5.
Okay, everybody's saying, Ainsley, get to the crafts. We really want to see that. Don't worry. Keep watching the show. We'll have more.
Good morning, it is 6:46. A push is on for the City of Winnipeg to designate spaces for homeless encampments. And this comes as camps are being banned near places like playgrounds, schools, and daycares. And as CTV's Jeff Keel shows you, those in favor of so-called sanctuary sites say they would provide a path to housing.
If a Winnipeg City Councillor gets her way, the city would have set locations for homeless encampments.
And the solution is there. We're seeing it happening.
A plan is making its way through City Hall to prohibit encampments near playgrounds, schools, daycares, and transit shelters. But some advocates say if people are removed from those spaces, there has to be an alternative place to go.
Otherwise, they're going to be in ATM vestibules. They're going to be in doorways, in businesses, in stairwells, parkades.
Councillor Cindy Gilroy wants the city to set up designated encampment sites that would offer supports and services like portable toilets, electricity, garbage collection, and snow removal. She says the camps would be temporary and a step towards getting people housed.
I want it managed by a community organization that can actually triage people into addiction supports, housing, or the shelter system.
Gilroy and St. Boniface Street Links founder Marion Willis visited Halifax, where they've had designated sites for camps for the last couple of years. Willis says Winnipeg can learn lessons from the Nova Scotia capital.
I think this is a very scary concept right now in the city. We've never done this before. We're by no means suggesting that we should build a tent city.
The Halifax sites have not been without issues. One was the scene of a shooting, another a fire, and a managed site would come with costs. At the Community Services Committee Tuesday, the chair questioned if the province is on board.
Because we can't fully fund all of this, right? There's only so much money that can go around the table.
We're a partner with the city, right? So we're going to continue to work collaboratively with them. The biggest barrier around encampments is housing. So we're building up our housing stock.
Jeff Keel, CTV News, Winnipeg.
The Trump administration is planning to reduce flights at dozens of major airports as early as Friday.
There is going to be a 10% reduction in capacity at 40 of our locations.
The U.S. government shutdown is leading to air traffic controller staffing shortages. Those shortages are now delaying an increasing number of flights throughout the U.S. Controllers are on track to miss their second full paycheck. Check your pantry. A brand of Middle Eastern confectionery is being recalled over salmonella concerns. It applies to Sheikh Al Khar plain halva, which was sold in an 800-gram package and has a best before date of January 28, 2026. Health Canada says the product was sold across the country, including here in Manitoba. The agency notes food contaminated with salmonella may not look or smell spoiled, but can make you very sick. There have not been any reported illnesses. You're told to throw the product away or bring it back to the place you bought it. It's a Remembrance Day history lesson you can't learn in a classroom. Wednesday morning, hundreds of local grade 6 students visited the grave sites of fallen soldiers. 600 students were bused to the Fields of Honor at Transcona Cemetery ahead of Remembrance Day. Each student places a poppy on the grave of a veteran. The program, called No Stone Left Alone, started 11 years ago. It teaches youth the importance of Remembrance Day and participating in ceremonies.
Taking them out of the classroom, being here in the cemetery, right in front of the grave of which they're going to be honoring that soldier. Very powerful, and I think a remembrance for them. They can look back at that and say, I was there.
An update now regarding the No Stone Left Alone ceremony that was scheduled for Brookside Cemetery today. That ceremony at Brookside has been canceled. Some road closures to remind you about this morning. Expect lane closures today on McPhillip Street between Story Road and Murray Avenue. The curb lanes on Dugald will be closing from Dawson Road north to Panet. The northbound median lane will be closed following rush hour on Donald between Stradbrook and River. If you have any other traffic tips or updates to share, text them to us, please, at 10400. Looking at the early markets, the Dow Jones is trading higher. The NASDAQ and S&P index are also up. The loonie is trading at just under 71 cents U.S. The Hang Seng added 550 points, and the Nikkei index jumped 671 points.
And outside this morning, it's 0 degrees with some clouds hanging around and a bit of a breeze. It's out of the southeast, the wind 19 kilometers per hour. The pressure falling and the humidity is sitting at 82%. 7:26 is when the sun officially rises. Not that we're going to be seeing much of it today. You might have a better chance in parts of northern Manitoba, but mainly cloudy conditions here across the south and central Manitoba, with, of course, that possibility of precipitation as well. Taking a bit of a tour around the province, and as I mentioned, there might be some brighter moments in parts of northern Manitoba. Other places will likely see a bit of that mixed precipitation. And the temperatures today, some minus double digits in Thompson. Other places they'll do a little bit better in those high minus single digits. But yes, a little bit cool, minus double digits up in the Lynn Lake area. Minus 10 is your expected high for today. A little more sunshine through parts of the north. Places like Flin Flon, Norway House will enjoy a little bit more of that. Here through southern Manitoba, we've got the heavier clouds and that possibility of precipitation. More likely to see some flurries in areas to the west of us. But just for that reference point, 1 degree plus 1, that would be a normal daytime high here across southern Manitoba. And it does still look like many places will surpass it, if only by a degree. Sure, the conditions might not be ideal with that possibility of snow on the way, but here in the southeast, it's more likely to start out at least as some showers and then perhaps see a few flakes of snow, especially into the evening time as those temperatures start to drop off a little bit. No, there won't be much in the way of sunshine for us today, but we will start to see some of those improvements tomorrow, at least with the conditions, not with the temperatures. As it clears out, the temperatures will actually be dropping off a little bit. So while today we're getting up to about 4 degrees, we're not even cracking the freezing mark through Friday and throughout the coming weekend. Gets a little bit milder back up to the freezing mark on Monday with some heavier clouds, and as the sunshine returns, it warms us up another couple degrees through middle week.
Thank you, Terry. Prime Minister Mark Carney's first budget needs to pass in order for his minority government to survive. The chances of that have increased after a Conservative member of Parliament crossed the floor. CTV's Mike Le Couture has more on the switch and the new speculation Conservatives responded to Wednesday.
A clearly content Chris D'Entremont welcomed by a lively Liberal caucus. The Nova Scotia MP says his decision to cross over came down to serving his constituents and issues with Pierre Poilievre.
Over the last number of months, I wasn't feeling that I was aligned with the ideals of what the leader of the opposition had been talking about.
I'm honored. The newest Liberal accompanied the Prime Minister to his post-budget press conference, where Mark Carney had this message for all parliamentarians.
Wherever they're sitting in the House, this is a time where we need to act as a country, be as unified as possible.
D'Entremont's former caucus colleagues questioned his move, given his record.
6 months ago, he ran on an affordability agenda. He ran to lower deficits. He ran on a stronger economy, a pro-growth agenda, and he's turned his back on that.
But the former Conservative says others in that caucus are also mulling over a move.
I would suggest that there probably are those that are in the same boat, but I will let them tell their stories if that time comes.
Attempting to quell recent rumors that she is crossing the floor, Conservative Dominique Vienne released a video reaffirming her commitment to the party. But if others do go, some pollsters predict problems for Pierre Poilievre.
It is a rare thing for a member of parliament to cross the floor, especially one in an environment as polarized as Canada is today. And I think that suggests it would be a signal that Mr. Poilievre has a real challenge in keeping the party together.
Another Conservative tried to squash ongoing speculation that he is leaving. Alberta MP Matt Genereux's office told CTV News he is not crossing the floor.
Canada struck a cultural tone in the budget, making a pitch to secure a spot in the Eurovision song competition. It is one of the world's most watched non-sporting events, drawing hundreds of millions of viewers globally. CTV's Geneviève Beauchemin reports.
A show of fireworks filled with glitter and at times self-parody.
Eurovision Song Contest has also long been known as a vehicle for nation branding and cultural diplomacy.
It really has been a mirror of the political and social change in Europe, and that's why people love to watch it as well.
The contest was first held in 1956. Switzerland won then. It's now watched by hundreds of millions of viewers. And some say it's no wonder that at this moment, Canada wants in hopes of furthering ties with Europe.
The core countries of Eurovision are EU members with which Canada shares democratic values.
And despite its name, broadcasters from non-European countries too, including Australia, have joined the chorus of participants. And while Canada has never joined in, some Canadians have. In 1988, Switzerland famously borrowed our Céline Dion. She won. Eurovision's inclusion in this country's budget, with details and figures yet to be revealed, hit a sour note for some. A Conservative MP took to X, saying, "Can't afford groceries? Don't worry, the Liberal budget is exploring participation by CBC in Eurovision."
I think it'd be great. I don't know if it's like Eurovision is, yeah, why not? Why not, right?
On Montreal streets, there's some applause for the bid, including from these American tourists.
Like Canada, 100%.
We have American Idol. It's kind of bad, but we're kind of bad, so it works. Like it fits what we're doing down there. So yeah, we don't deserve Eurovision.
Canada definitely, yes, should be involved. Yeah.
And so it seems there's still quite a bit of exploring to do before Canada is in the spotlight at Eurovision. Geneviève Beauchemin, CTV News, Montreal.
The best in floral art returns to the Leaf at Assiniboine Park this winter. Vancouver-based Fleur de Ville is back with another exhibit January 15th through the 25th. The theme this year is wonder, as in an exploration of the natural wonder of the world. You can expect to see displays inspired by the lavender fields of France, Australia's Great Barrier Reef, and the Amazon rainforest. Each piece is curated by local florists. Tickets go on sale next Wednesday. Just head to the Leaf or visit assiniboinepark.ca. We're going to take a break here. We'll be back after this with your 7 o'clock headlines. It's Thursday, November 6th. Today, some positive news: how medication approval will change a young boy's life. Plus, a policy change: why you can no longer get medical advice from ChatGPT. And paying tribute: who is being honored with a new mural in downtown Winnipeg, and why the space beside it is being left empty. Your Morning Winnipeg starts right now. Good morning, Manitoba. It is 7 o'clock on your Thursday. Thank you so much for being with us here on Your Morning Winnipeg. We have a lot in the next couple of hours for you, including in our community connection at 7:52. We're going to tell you about a charitable organization called CANU. They really give kids hope that they can reach their dreams through education and through university or college or whatever they decide. So we're going to delve into the program itself. They're having a special gala celebrating some of their accomplishments and some of their victories. And we're also going to introduce you to one of the students who is in the program right now. Cool. So that's coming up at 7:52. But the weather, things are turning here. Things are changing.
Okay, yes. Today is the day that we could start, or more so tonight. I'm going to say tonight is the night that we could see some snow. But doesn't that look pretty? Yeah, 7:26. That's when the sun officially begins to rise. But it's looking gorgeous out there with that just a little sliver along the horizon where we're seeing that gorgeous glow. Now you can see the heavier clouds above. So once that sun rises a little bit higher into the sky, it will probably look a little gray and overcast. But we can enjoy this stunning view this morning. It's 0 degrees with a southeast wind, 19 kilometers per hour. Pressure falling and the humidity sitting at 82%. We haven't started to see that precipitation yet over Winnipeg or the southeast. Well, in areas just further to the south, right along that very southern border, you can see that activity rolling through. Mostly is just through southwestern Manitoba and west central Manitoba, but we could perhaps find ourselves right in the path of that. For northern Manitoba, you also might see some scattered flakes of snow, but a better chance of a brighter day across parts of northern Manitoba. More sunshine is expected, whereas here in the south, we're not likely to see that sunshine sunshine at all today, really. The possibility of some mixed precipitation here in the southeast, more likely to see some straight up flurries in areas to the west of us. Temperatures today will still be above seasonal, but then it's going to cool down over the next couple of days. It'll cool down, but it'll clear out. This system is all moving on out of the way, so we're getting back to the sunshine for tomorrow, but the temperatures will be a little bit, not just below seasonal, below the freezing mark. So 1 degree plus 1, that would be a normal daytime high, and we'll surpass that today, headed up to 4 degrees. But the next few days, we're not even going to be cracking the freezing mark, just getting back to 0 by the start of next week. And our art today, oh yes, thank you to 10-year-old Justin. I love what you've done here. It looks very creative, and we'd love to see what it is that you happen to be working on. Draw, color, or paint for us and send that picture to winnipegweather@ctv.ca.
The Weather Art of the Day is brought to you by 103.1 Virgin Radio.
Some relief for a Steinbach family after months of seeking provincial approval for a medication that could improve the quality of care for their dying son. 5-year-old Leo DuPont was diagnosed in June with Niemann-Pick disease type C, a rare genetic disorder that causes neurological damage over time. It's been an uphill battle, but some good news came to the family yesterday. Here's CTV's Joseph Bernacki.
Having a child that is ill is a nightmare, right, for any parent. Having a child that's terminally ill is another level.
The last 4 months have been a battle for Kayla Krentz DuPont.
This has become my full-time job, trying to secure care for my child, trying to secure medication for my child.
Krentz DuPont's 5-year-old son Leo was diagnosed in June with Niemann-Pick type C. It's a rare genetic disorder that leads to progressive neurological damage over time, affecting his ability to walk, speak, and use of his arms and legs.
Leo's body does not metabolize the same way another person's body does, and it's the storage of lipids in his liver and eventually brain that have these neurological effects.
After weeks of sending emails to the province asking for coverage of the expensive medication, Minister of Health, Seniors and Long-Term Care Uzoma Asseguara contacted the family today. Asseguara said the drug Miglustat will be granted exceptional drug status by the province. The family says this drug is the first step towards prolonging Leo's life.
I was able to call Kayla earlier today and share with her that I have approved the medication and that our department will work with her and her family every step of the way to Leo being able to start the medication as soon as possible.
But Krentz DuPont says it's not over. The family is also seeking access for Miplyffa, another medication used in combination with Miglustat. The challenge? Miplyffa has not yet been approved for use by Health Canada. As he folds up Leo's laundry, Mario DuPont says the first medication can't come fast enough for his son.
We really want access to this medication so that Leo can live the best life that he can live while he's here with us.
Joseph Bernacki, CTV News, Steinbach.
Kayla Krentz DuPont says she was in shock Wednesday afternoon when she received the phone call. She's not sure when treatment can start. Minister Uzoma Asseguara is encouraging Manitobans to reach out to their office if they have concerns about receiving approval in the province. A teen girl is dead and another is in custody following a reported assault in a Northern First Nations community. RCMP and paramedics were sent to a home in Opaskwayak Cree Nation near the Paw Saturday afternoon. There they found the body of a 15-year-old girl. Then on Tuesday, Mounties arrested a 17-year-old from the community. She's now charged with manslaughter. RCMP say the investigation is ongoing, but a spokesperson adds the alleged incident is not believed to be random and the two share a family connection. Investigators are not looking for any other suspects. Federal workers are waiting for the hammer to drop from the job cuts announced in the Liberal budget.
Just waiting until it actually passes to react. Everyone's talking about it, but until it passes, nothing much we can do.
The budget includes a plan to cut another 28,000 jobs from the public sector over the next 4 years. There are no specific details in the budget about where the jobs will be cut. The Union for Federal Workers says job cuts will make it harder for Canadians to access the services they rely on. There are also concerns about how job losses will affect local businesses in Ottawa. Prime Minister Mark Carney says the cuts are aimed at making the government more efficient. The next time you're looking for medical advice, you'll have to try somewhere other than ChatGPT. For better or worse, many Canadians turn to the internet for guidance on how to deal with health issues, and nowadays that often means AI tools like ChatGPT. But parent company OpenAI recently updated its policies so the chatbot won't offer medical or legal advice. The rules now state ChatGPT can't be used for tailored advice that requires a license. A study led by researchers at the University of Waterloo found the bot only got 31% of open-ended medical questions entirely correct. There's a new giant downtown tribute to Winnipeg's Stanley Cup winning hockey teams.
At the time, I was talking with John Jameson from the Manitoba Hockey Hall of Fame, and I said, this deserves a big wall.
This mural depicting the Winnipeg Victorias now graces the wall of a downtown building on Main Street near McDermott. Way back in 1896, the Victorias won their first Stanley Cup and won 2 more in 1901 and 1902. Winnipeg artist Jen Mosienko created the mural, and for the grandson of one of the players, it's a moving tribute.
My grandpa passed away before I ever had a chance to meet him, and but we got stories through my dad, we got stories through the media, so we knew about his accomplishments. In addition to hockey, he was a war hero, World War I. He was also a banker before he went off to the war.
The team's initial Cup victory celebration resulted in the first ever Stanley Cup parade, which took place through the streets of downtown Winnipeg. Manitoba Hockey Hall of Fame says there's room on the wall for when the Winnipeg Jets win their first Stanley Cup. Taking a look now at the current traffic situation on Kenaston Boulevard. Things appear to be moving well here. No issues to tell you about at this point in the drive. If you see any issues out there, though, please let us know.
Weather is brought to you by Garage Masters, your complete garage specialists.
The Bank of Canada is planning to eliminate hundreds of jobs, about 10% of its workforce, as Prime Minister Mark Carney aims to reduce government expenses. About 225 employees at the central bank will be affected, according to a memo seen by Bloomberg News. The cuts will take place over the next few months and be completed by June. And the Canadian government is considering privatizing airports, reigniting an idea that was studied but then shelved nearly a decade ago. Openness to changing the ownership structure of airports across the country, which together are worth billions of dollars, is contained in a single line in Tuesday's budget, the first from Prime Minister Mark Carney. The government will also consider options for the privatization of airports. That's what it says, the budget document. After laying out preliminary ways the government plans to unlock more of the economic potential of Canada's airports and consider new ways to attract private sector investment. Most Americans, including Republicans, continue to view Canada positively in economic and trade matters, even as U.S. President Donald Trump directs anger at his northern neighbor. The poll indicates that 75% of Americans said they either trusted completely or somewhat trusted Canada's intentions to negotiate in good faith. That number was 90% for respondents who identified as Democrats and 67% for Republicans. When asked a similar question about Trump, only 52% said he would negotiate in good faith. Those are your morning business headlines. For B&M Bloomberg, I'm Roger Peterson.
Let's go now to Ainsley McPhail, who is live this morning at the WAG Camera York. It's going to be a busy weekend there this weekend. Hello.
Good morning. And I know it might not look like it right now because you're looking at some empty tables. And just for a little moment longer, you got to look at my face. I'm sorry. The artists, they're on their way. 7:27, we've got another interview with 2 local fashion designers, some of which are actually putting some pieces of art right onto the pieces. How cool is that? But Crafted is an opportunity for you guys to come to the WAG, explore the beautiful gallery, and also maybe get your hands on some of these pieces. 30 different regions of Canada really are going to be featured with all of that, whether it's cultural attire, whether it's woodwork, or various other pieces of art, and over 100 different artists are going to be featured in this. So come along to Craft It this weekend and check it out for yourself.
Okay, thank you, Ainsley. Let's go out to the rooftop now. It's how's it feeling out there? Is it cool?
I mean, I guess it's typical for what you would expect this time of year. Actually, technically, it's above seasonal. We're a lot closer to a normal daytime high than a seasonal low. -7 would be a normal low temperature, and we're coming in at the freezing mark right now. It's looking a little bit brighter out here. The sun isn't technically up yet, but soon at 7:26. But I can see how many clouds are out here now, and it's a lot. The southeast winds are on the lighter side, at the moment at least. They're 13 kilometers per hour. The pressure is falling and the humidity is sitting at 82%. We are likely to notice that wind increasing and the clouds continuously building up with the possibility of precipitation all across southern Manitoba. A rain-snow mix is possible. More likely to see showers. It'll likely be later today into the afternoon. by the time that begins here in southeastern Manitoba. And by then, our temperatures will be a few degrees warmer and starting out in liquid form, whereas parts of the southwest, they're already seeing that activity, and a few degrees below freezing means it's starting out in frozen form. So a few flurries through southwest and west central Manitoba. For northern Manitoba, you do have a brighter day ahead, a little more sunshine, but still possibly some scattered precipitation. And temperatures across the north will be cool enough that that possible precipitation will be snow.
Thank you, Terry. It's time for a Pet of the Week reveal. This week, we're celebrating Appa. And we're not the only ones. Appa just marked his second birthday on Monday. His best bud, Tyler, tells us this ragdoll cat loves to talk and follows his family around the house like a shadow. Congratulations to Appa. We love your Pet of the Week submissions, so keep them coming, please. Share a photo and a fun story of your pet, dog, cat, bird, or anybody at petoftheweek@ctv.ca. And then make sure to watch Thursdays to see if your pet is named our Pet of the Week. Your primetime lineup heats up with Hell's Kitchen at 7. 911 Nashville is on at 8. At 9, it's Grey's Anatomy. And catch Georgie and Mandy's First Marriage at 10. It's all right here tonight on CTV. Good morning. The Manitoba legislature has passed a bill to detain people intoxicated on drugs such as meth for as long as 72 hours instead of 24. It comes after weeks of sparring over the fine details. Both the governing NDP and official opposition Progressive Conservatives agree the change was needed to better deal with longer-lasting drug effects. However, the PCs wanted amendments to require annual reporting, limiting where these centers could operate, and requiring public consultation on new sites. All three were shot down by the NDP. In the end, the bill passed 51-1, with the lone independent MLA voting against it. The fall legislative session ends today. Global Affairs has confirmed a Canadian is among 7 people killed by an avalanche in Nepal this week. The avalanche happened on Monday at Mount Yalung-Ri in the Himalayas. Rescuers weren't able to reach the site until the next day. The people who died were 5 foreigners and 2 locals. So far, at least 3 bodies have been recovered. President Donald Trump's tariffs face some tough questions in the U.S. Supreme Court.
It's a congressional power, not a presidential power to tax. And you want to say tariffs are not taxes, but that's exactly what they are.
The court now has to decide whether it's legal for President Trump to unilaterally impose tariffs in the name of national security. During about 3 hours of arguments, both Democratic and Republican judges questioned President Trump's use of the emergency law. The challenge was brought on by several states and businesses, arguing tariffs have driven up costs and uncertainty.
For nearly 40 years, my family has built this business from the ground up. Today, reckless tariffs threaten everything we've achieved.
The Supreme Court fast-tracked the appeal after a lower court ruled President Trump had overstepped his authority. A decision is expected within weeks or possibly months. The president of Mexico is pressing charges after she was groped by a man who she says appeared drunk as she was speaking with supporters in Mexico City. Video shows the man approaching President Claudia Sheinbaum from behind and trying to kiss and wrap his arms around her. The man is now in police custody, suspected of inappropriately touching 3 women, including the president, on the same day. Sheinbaum says she felt a responsibility to press charges on behalf of all women of Mexico. The incident raised questions about her personal safety, but Sheinbaum says she will not increase her security or change how she interacts with people. The waters at a popular German surf spot are quiet right now. Usually surfers can ride the Icebox wave at English Garden Park, but after some recent river cleanup, the wave is gone for now. Officials believe it's because gravel in the riverbed has been removed, so they hope it will just take some time until it builds up to make a surfable wave again. Here's what's happening in traffic along Osborne Street. Looks like things are moving well over here. We have no issues to tell you about at this point in the drive. Time now for some entertainment news. One of the surprise hits of the summer, K-pop Demon Hunters, has reportedly gotten the green light for a sequel. The animated musical movie tells the story of a trio of pop idols who also fight supernatural demons. K-pop Demon Hunters has become the most watched original movie on Netflix ever. It has also claimed #1 at the box office and on the music charts. Deadline now reports Netflix and Sony are preparing for a 2029 release of a K-pop Demon Hunters 2. The film was created and co-directed by Canadian Maggie Kang, who told CTV in September she was very excited to dive into the world again. Will Ferrell's elf costume is going up for auction just in time for the holiday season. The Buddy the Elf getup is not going for cheap. It's expected to sell for as much as $264,000. The bidding will take place in December as part of Prop Store's Winter Entertainment Memorabilia live auction in London. More than 1,000 other items will be up for auction, expected to rake in more than $10 million. Brendan Fraser and Rachel Weisz may soon reunite on the big screen. The two stars are reportedly in talks with movie executives to appear together in the 4th installment of the Mummy franchise. Both actors were in the first Mummy together, which came out in 1999. If it is a go, writers would need to be creative, as Rachel Weisz's character was killed in the 2001 sequel. Yeah, but they bring her back. Don't you remember? They bring her back. Well, time now for our question of the day. What old movie would you like to see resurrected? You can text your answer along with your name to 10400. Make sure to follow the automated instructions so we can feature your response.
All right, a look outside right now through the Bathfitter Live Eye. Bathfitter, your bath and shower experts for more than 40 years. Heavier clouds, you can see them now. The sun is up. What time is it? No, the sun isn't up. 7:26. Close. We're very close to official sunrise this morning, but we can see how many clouds are out there, so don't expect to see too much in the way of sunshine today, at least not here across the south. Our temperature values, we're right at the freezing mark here in Winnipeg, in the Morden Winkler area, and over in Brandon as well. A few places I was going to say a few places above the freezing mark. It looks like Gimli is the only one, coming in at +3 degrees. Otherwise, it's -3 over in the Fisher Branch area, and we're seeing negative numbers all through west central Manitoba as well. And even off to the east, Kenora is coming in at -2. Up into northern Manitoba, more than just below the freezing mark. You're into the minus double digits the further that you go up into the north. There will be some clearer conditions for some, though, across parts of northern Manitoba, or at least some breaks in the clouds. You can see the cloud cover a little bit heavier here through central and southern Manitoba, and along with the clouds, that possibility of precipitation. By the time we're likely to see that precipitation, it will be into the afternoon and likely showing up then in liquid form. As these temperatures rise today, we will crack above what is normal for this time of year, with 1 degree being a seasonal daytime high. So getting up to 4, with that possibility of showers later on this afternoon, which could then change to flurries as those temps fall overnight. After that, it will be cool for tomorrow and through the weekend, not even cracking the freezing mark, that we should get some sunshine back again. And it was a gorgeous night last night with the northern lights on full display. This picture taken right here in Winnipeg in the White Ridge area. Thanks to Derek for this, and keep the pictures coming, please, to Winnipeg Weather at ctv.ca.
Thank you, Terry. We're taking a deeper look at what the budget means for you and whether the average Canadian will see any immediate impacts. CTV's Abigail Beeman reports.
Morning. How are you?
At an Ottawa light rail yard, the Prime Minister highlighted its $51 billion local infrastructure fund.
Canada's strength wasn't built in the halls of Parliament. It was built in our communities.
An attempt to make a high-level budget he calls generational relevant, as many economists say there aren't many takeaways for the average Canadian's daily life.
The government is moving in the right direction, but seem hesitant to go all in on this.
Economist Randall Bartlett points to previously announced tax cuts and a new promise to lower bank fees as impactful, but says it's tricky to find the narrative.
The amount of support that was provided to the economy is less than we were expecting. We looked at the depth of the cuts. It was less than we were expecting.
They're worried about how they're going to pay for their grocery bills. They're worried about how they're going to afford tuition. They're worried if they don't have a doctor. And this budget doesn't do anything for them.
Conservatives call it a costly budget.
Never before have Canadians had to spend so much to get so little.
The big bet that Mark Carney's making in this budget is on the patience of Canadians.
Scott Reid calls it a 30,000-foot budget with measures to reorient our economy and restructure business investment, taking as long as a decade to see tangible impacts.
They may be absolutely necessary, but they are not urgent. And Canadians tend to think, worry, and vote on the basis of urgency.
Reid says the government needs to focus now on showing Canadians how this budget could help them on an ongoing basis, not just on Budget Day. The government tells CTV News train depot announcement was just the beginning of a cross-country tour to promote the budget.
Former NFL superstar Tom Brady says he's been given a second chance with Junie, who happens to be a clone of his beloved dog who died in 2023. He shared the details as part of a news release by Colossal Biosciences, the company he used to clone his previous family dog, a pit bull mix named Lua. Brady is also an investor in the company, and in case you're wondering, cloning a canine costs between $50,000 to $85,000 US. As the old saying goes, if these walls could talk, the stories they would tell. Well, the walls at the 111-year-old Isaac Brock School have lots of stories to share. And thanks to a discovery at the school, some are being revealed.
Do not open until 2013 or else.
Grade 7 students at Isaac Brock School recently got an opportunity to explore the school's attic as part of their studies. That's where students discovered a bag full of letters written by grade 7 students written in 1999. Those kids are now adults, and the class is trying to get in contact with them.
We actually had one reach out earlier this week that wants to come in. They were so excited to be reached out to. But what we found is just that the internet can only get you so far. And with people's name changes and moving, it can be tricky.
The school is hoping those former students will hear about the letters and reach out. So if any of the letter writers are interested in getting them back, they're asked to call the school. So cool. All right, coming up, we're going to find out more about Crafted, which is happening this weekend at the WAG Camera York. Stay with us. Crafted is happening at the WAG Camera York this weekend. There will be all kinds of artists there, including some designers. Good morning, Ainsley.
Good morning. Look at this fish bag.
Ooh,
I could put so many snacks in it, Rochelle. It's awesome. And you know what? What's better than one fish bag? Two fish bags. This is awesome. This is something that you could get your hands on if you come to Crafted. This is Karen, the artist behind it, Karen Asselford. Tell us about what you do and the collaboration that made this all possible.
Yes, so for this collection, I collaborated with artist Lisa Streifler to hand screen print Lisa's designs on my clothes. So everything is screen printed, one of a kind, and yeah.
How does that happen? So it goes from paper to the outfit. What's that transition look like?
It is a very complicated, long, labor-intensive transition, and we worked with screens. So Lisa worked in everything, like at 100%. So she painted this at scale, and then it had to be transferred onto like clear paper to be digitized, and then from there it got printed onto the screen. And the screens we're working with are like 5 feet by 4 feet, like they're gigantic. So then from there we would take the screen, put it on the fabric piece of what we're cutting out, so like the shape of this dress, and then print it, and then I would sew it, and then here we go.
Is there anything else out there like this?
Not that I've seen.
Yeah.
Not like this, yeah.
Yeah. And what do you like about Crafted in a sense that you're able to show it and give it that much more exposure?
I think that I get the chance to talk with customers and people coming in and who are like really interested and like appreciate our craft. So yeah, just to see like what people think of my work and yeah, see what they're drawn to, because it's always different than what I think people will like.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, I'm going to give you an in-person review right now. I want this so bad. Think of all the snacks that I could imagine going to the movies and putting a snack in here. Rochelle, this is awesome.
Very unique and very cool. Yes. Thank you, Ainsley.
You want to talk a statement bag. That is a statement.
You're going to get noticed with that for sure. And it's one of those days where maybe you want to put a toque in your bag.
Yeah, do you know what? I brought a toque in my pocket this morning and it's all bulgy, so perhaps if I had a fish bag, my pocket wouldn't be bulging. Anyway, 0 degrees right now, and it is on the cloudier side this morning. The sun is up now. We're just not going to be seeing it behind those clouds. The winds at the moment are out of the southeast, 13 kilometers per hour. The pressure is falling and the humidity is sitting at 82%. You might want a toque even a scarf in some places. I know we've got some cooler temperatures, especially up into northern Manitoba. You're into the minus double digits, but you can see it's a little bit clearer in the far northern part of the province. Doesn't mean that there won't be some precipitation, but a little more sunshine to enjoy. Whereas here in the south, yes, you can see the precipitation, but you can also see how heavy the clouds are, and that will likely remain throughout the day today. So with those clouds comes that possibility of precipitation, more likely later into the afternoon here in the southeast. And by the time it shows up, it'll warm up enough that it will be likely showing up in liquid form, at least to start. Then into the evening overnight hours, as those temperatures start to drop off, showers could change to flurries, and those winds will be shifting today out of the southeast, but a north wind expected overnight. It will get pretty strong and gusty as well. And then tomorrow it clears out. We'll see the sunshine returning, but it's unfortunately not going to be warming up much and will remain below seasonal. 1 degree +1, that would be a normal daytime high, and we're not going to get there tomorrow or throughout the weekend. In fact, by Monday, with some heavier clouds, we should be back to the freezing mark and then warming up a little more as we continue through the week.
Police in Winnipeg are hoping you can help them find a vehicle tied to an ongoing shooting investigation. Police are looking for this red 4-door 2019 Kia Sportage. It has a black decal running across the front and rear doors. This after a 28-year-old man allegedly shot his girlfriend early Sunday morning at a home on Wellington Crescent. Investigators believe the suspect then drove this vehicle east of the city and abandoned it near Deacon's Corner. They add it could have been driven down various back roads, so they're asking people in the area to check security footage. You're told not to approach the vehicle if you find it, as it may contain evidence. The suspect was previously arrested and charged with aggravated assault, while the victim sustained a life-altering injury but survived. None of the allegations have been tested in court. Pressure is mounting on Saskatchewan government to launch a public inquiry into a fire that destroyed more than 200 homes. A volunteer firefighter this week joined the provincial NDP in the demand for answers. They're asking why firefighters weren't given more resources to fight June's Denair Beach fire. Saskatchewan's public safety minister has resisted calls for an inquiry. He says the province's public safety agency is in the process of holding an independent review of the 2025 wildfire season. Denair Beach is about 20 kilometers southwest of Flin Flon. The number of people killed by the cargo plane crash in Kentucky has gone up to 12.
And there are a handful of other people that we're still searching for that we hope weren't on site and that we hear were somewhere else.
New dash cam footage has surfaced showing the moment the UPS plane went down. Investigators say the plane's left engine appears to be missing. The U.S. National Transportation Safety Board has confirmed one of the plane's engines came off during takeoff. The crash left a debris field about 800 meters long. Investigators say they have found the flight's data recorders. Although the Louisville airport has reopened, the runway where the crash happened will be closed for 10 days. Vietnam is now bracing for one of Asia's strongest typhoons this year. After leaving more than 100 people dead in the Philippines, Typhoon Kom-Megi is now headed toward Vietnam's coastline. Vietnam is already battling flooding and record rain. It's expected to hit later today and could generate waves of up to 8 meters high. Thailand is also bracing for the storm's impact. Elon Musk could soon become the world's first trillionaire. Tesla shareholders will vote on a new pay package for CEO Elon Musk at the company's annual meeting today. The company's board says Musk may quit if investors vote down a package that pays him $878 billion in company stock. That stock would likely be worth more than $1 trillion if he hits all of the board's performance goals within a decade. Many shareholders believe Musk is the only person that can deliver promises made on robo-taxis and robots. However, some experts are concerned about staking Tesla's future on one person in this way. A British Columbia regulator is ordering Amazon to pay a $10,000 penalty over a failed delivery. So here's what happened. A consumer alleged Amazon failed to deliver their package within 30 days and then denied a refund of about $580. Amazon, meanwhile, told officials that it suspected return abuse because the customer had requested 3 refunds in the past year and said the goods had been handed over to someone who lived at the address. But the decision by Consumer Protection BC says without the buyer's express agreement, delivery doesn't mean leaving an item with someone else or at a front door. Currently, the word delivery isn't defined in BC's Business Practices and Consumer Protection Act. Tourists are spending record amounts of money in Manitoba.
We all need travel.
Last year's visitors spent $1.89 billion in our province. Travel Manitoba says it's the third year in a row tourism spending has set new records. In total, 10.6 million people visited our province in 2024. That's 200,000 more than the year prior. However, officials are warning these robust numbers may not hold in 2025 due to challenges such as the wildfires and growing economic uncertainty. Some road closures to remind you about this morning. Expect lane closures today on McPhillip Street between Story Road and Murray Avenue. The curb lanes on Dugald will be closing from Dawson Road north to Panet. The northbound median lane will be closed following rush hour on Donald between Stradbrook and River. And if you have any other traffic tips or updates, please text them to us. And here's a look at your gas prices now. The Canadian average is $1.35. The provincial average is lower at $1.27. The average is $1.26 in Winnipeg, and the lowest price in the city is $1.16. All this info is on gasbuddy.com.
The Price at the Pump is brought to you by the Kidney Foundation. Help by donating your car today.
Taking a look outside, right now we're sitting at 0 degrees under cloudy skies, really. We'll be back after this short break.
Your Morning Winnipeg. Coffee is brought to you by Robin's Donuts, your favorite stop.
Zero degrees right now in the city, and the sun is up. It's just behind those clouds, so we won't be seeing much of it throughout the day today. A southeast wind is 13 kilometers per hour with the pressure falling and the humidity sitting at 82%. Yes, it's cloudy to begin the day, and it's snowy for some, keeping an eye on the satellite image. And you can see where the activity is. All of the precipitation across southern Manitoba at this point does seem to be showing up in flurry form. That's the kind of gray that you're seeing. It looks like there was a little bit of green near the border there. But for the most part, some light flurries this morning. So far, nothing in Winnipeg, but it's only a matter of time before we do likely see some of that precipitation. However, by that time, it'll likely be warm enough to at least begin as showers. For parts of northern Manitoba, you might see some showers, more likely to see a bit of a rain-snow mix. Other places, maybe even a little more sunshine, like in the Gillam area, or in places like Norway House and Flin Flon. There will be parts of northern Manitoba where the clouds are on the minimal side, at least. Not that there won't be any, but you might get a little bit more sunshine, whereas other places further into the north, not only cold, but that rain-snow mix, or closer to the freezing mark in more of central Manitoba, and even pushing up into the plus digits through central and southern Manitoba. Now, 1 degree would be a normal daytime high here across the south, so it does still look like we've got at least another day of above seasonal temperatures climbing up around 4-3 degrees. Those are the average temps expected here in the south, but yes, that possibility of precipitation could begin in shower form, but then as those temps drop off overnight, showers changing to flurries. And from there, the temperatures remaining cool and below seasonal for the next few days, although it should clear out. We'll get the sunshine back for tomorrow and to last through the weekend.
Thank you, Terry. Let's go back now to Ainsley McPhail, who's live at the Camera York this morning. Crafted is happening this weekend. So many artists are going to be there. You're going to introduce us to another one of those. Good morning.
Good morning, Rochelle. And something else that I love about this event is that you're going to get one-of-a-kind pieces. Something that, you know, you're walking down the street and someone says, where the heck did you get those earrings from? Because we all love that feeling. And I have a perfect opportunity for you. Amy McPherson joins us now to tell us all about her work. The one-of-the-kind element, that's something that you're bringing to the table here, quite literally. Tell us about yourself.
Okay, well, my name is Amy McPherson. I am an Indigenous artist and designer here in Winnipeg, and I'm the creative behind Fashion Equa Designs brand. So this weekend at Crafted, I'm featuring all kinds of one-of-a-kind items, and there's a little bit of something for everybody. So we have larger statement pieces like this collar you'll see here, featuring Ethiopian opals and size 15 seed beads. Over here we have some porcupine quill earrings, and also I have opals in there. We have some small studs for gifts. You know, this is porcupine quills and hometown moose hide. So there's a little bit of something for everybody. Now within my designs, I really like to incorporate natural elements. So you'll see a lot of pieces like porcupine quills, caribou hair tufting, home-tanned moose hide, wolf willow silver berries, and I hope that you come down to my table on the 3rd floor in Gallery 8 this weekend.
Mm-hmm. And when you get to come to the table, you're even experimenting with scents too. What does that mean? Explain for someone if they want to come by.
Okay, so at my table, I usually like to incorporate things like bringing some home-tanned moose hide so that people can actually get to smell it and see it in its raw form. Also, I'll have fur displays, and also I usually like to put a little bit of cedar on my table as well.
Mm-hmm. So cool. And before we're out of time, I have to talk about your earrings. They're just stellar. What is, because she did let me touch them, and it's softer than it looks. So what is this one?
Well, these are Arctic fox fur and caribou hair tufting. So this is a good example of some of the stuff you'll be able to find at my booth, and you're always going to find one-of-a-kind items. I won't reproduce my designs over, and so they're very much statement pieces.
Mm-hmm. You're going to be given the best Christmas gifts this year. I just know it. Something else I want to tell you guys real quick. Harvest Manitoba will also benefit from Crafted. Much of the proceeds going towards them. Back to you.
Thank you, Ainsley. More than 100 White Crosses in one Cape Breton community honor the memories of the men from that area who went to war and never came home. CTV's Ryan McDonald takes us to this special memorial.
They call it the Field of Heroes. These crosses in Sydney Mines honor the men from the community who went to war and didn't return.
They're the roll and roll, perfect lined up. The committee that does it does a great job.
There are 138 wooden crosses. 76 are for those who were killed during the First World War, 59 from the Second World War, and 1 from the Korean War. There is also 1 cross each representing the Merchant Marines and the unknown soldier.
All the names of Cenotaph are on the crosses. It's beautiful. Everybody comes every day. You take pictures.
The crosses were made by members of the Branch 8 Legion with help from a local contractor. And while the names are already on the cenotaph next to the Field of Heroes, those behind the project say to see the veterans' names on the crosses hits a bit different.
People call and want to know, could they put up a cross here for one of their father or mother as a veteran? But we tell them no, it is only for the deceased members of the cenotaph. But again, the feedback is in the community is awesome.
Each year, the Remembrance Day service here in Sydney Mines is held here at the cenotaph along Main Street, with hundreds of people typically turning out.
Well, after a service, the people go down and you take pictures. You take their grandchildren down and walk through, have a look. It's amazing.
Each cross has been fitted with a light, giving the field a different look at night. But it's a striking display in daylight, too, particularly on a day when the flags that line the rows move in the wind.
I feel proud, very proud.
A fitting tribute and a tradition that's expected to be upheld for years to come. Ryan McDonald, CTV News, Sydney Mines.
Let's see who's celebrating a milestone today. Happy 6th birthday, Paisley. Love Coco and Papa. Happy 9th birthday, Aiden. Love from Mom, Dad, and your sisters and brothers. Happy 7th birthday, Talia. Love Mom, Dad, Auntie Kian, and Clara. Happy birthday, Valen, from your mom, Joelle, and Dad, TJ, sister Cece, Grandma Robin, and grandparents Rita and Merv. Happy 14th birthday, Lauren, with love from your family. And a congratulations to Lucy, who brought home 2 gold medals and a silver medal from the World Karate Commission World Championships in Niagara Falls, New York, with best wishes from your family. To submit your milestone, visit our website, ctvnewswinnipeg.ca, and fill out the form at least 2 days in advance. It'll also enter you into our monthly contest for a chance to win a $100 gift certificate to Party Stuff.
Milestones is brought to you by Party Stuff. 3 Winnipeg locations and at partystuff.ca. Weather is brought to you by Mr. Lube Plus Tires. Open late, ready when you are.
All right, 4 degrees
degrees is where we're headed today, and if we do reach that, that'll put us well above seasonal, with a normal daytime high being just 1 degree, +1. And last year, we didn't quite get to the 4 degrees, but we got very close. If you round up, 3.8, we'll call it a win. And then the record, my goodness, 16.7 degrees back in 1975. It's been a while since we hit numbers like that. We're not going to hit those kind of numbers today, but like I said, still above seasonal with the sun up already, but it's still looking pretty overcast and gray, and the possibility that we will be seeing some precipitation throughout the day. It's 0 degrees right now. That breeze out of the southeast is 13 kilometers per hour. The pressure falling and the humidity sitting at 82%. That possibility of precipitation to roll across southern Manitoba could very well start out as flurries, especially in areas off to the west right now, where the temperatures are a few degrees below the freezing mark. As that precipitation kind of gets closer and rolls over us, we'll likely have gained enough heat or temperatures that we'll see that beginning, at least, in liquid form. Some showers that could then change to flurries overnight as those temps start to drop off. For northern Manitoba, you might see a little more sunshine today, but still some mixed precipitation is possible across northern Manitoba. And then tomorrow, while we'll see a little more sunshine than what we're expecting to see today, temperatures will be cooler, so brace yourself for those drop in temps. We'll feel that all through the weekend.
Charitable organization is giving kids hope and confidence to make their dreams come true. CANU is a mentorship and educational program for kids from grades 5 to 12. They're helping them understand how to reach their potential. An upcoming gala at the Canadian Museum for Human Rights is sharing and celebrating its many success stories. It's called the CANU Imagine Stories Gala. Joining us now from CANU are the founder and president, Roger Barrington, and a grade 11 student at Collège Louis Riel, DJ Togoy. Good morning to both of you.
Good morning, Rochelle. Thanks for having us.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. Now, you started this 14 years ago. Mm-hmm. It was something that as a child yourself, you would have benefited from. Tell me about your personal story and sort of why you had self-confidence issues growing up.
Yeah, so my mom and dad split up when I was 9 years old, and lived with my mom, hardworking, and but I felt isolated and alone, and so I would have loved to have had an opportunity to participate in things, that would have given me more confidence and more opportunity.
So what is UCAN exactly?
Well, yeah, so CANU is a opportunity to bring kids to a post-secondary campus and provide them with mentors and educational enrichment programs. And underneath of it all, though, is something called psychological capital. So we want to encourage kids to realize that they have a good future ahead of them, that they can have confidence in whatever they do, and that they have a sense of belonging. So underneath it all is developing internal capacities and also the external capacities of networks and social capital and all of those kinds of things.
So DJ, you have been part of the program for how long?
I've been since 5th grade, so 7 years now.
Oh wow! And so when did you first realize you wanted to be part of this, and how has it really changed your life?
I started doing this it wasn't during my 2nd year, other than CANU. I started noticing a lot of changes. I started being more open towards others, and I started connecting with a lot of people. And that's when I realized that CANU wasn't just like something along the way, but something that changed me into making my own path.
How did it do that? It built your confidence, obviously, but how did it do that? Is it because you're meeting with people, you're mingling with people? Like, what is the main part of the program that you feel supported you and helped you?
The mentors that were there, they were really good with making people get out of their bubble and talking with other people. So that was really a big part of it.
Before the program, why do you think you struggled?
I recently actually moved to Canada.
Okay.
So I was quite shy talking to other people, and I didn't really know that much English as well. So that's why I was a little bit I was like in my bubble, and I didn't know how to get out of it and talk to other people as well.
And do you feel now that you're sort of a leader? You're helping the younger ones.
Yes.
And what does that mean to you to be able to share that with the knowledge you have and that confidence?
I am really grateful for this opportunity to be able to go and do what was done to me and share back that experience that I had and help out others as well. it's a really meaningful thing for me, and I hope to help out even more people get out of their bubble and actually express themselves more.
That must make you so proud, knowing that this is just one success story. You have multiple, hundreds of success stories over the 14 years that you've been doing this. Do you feel that you've reached that goal that you wanted to accomplish?
Well, it certainly is. A DJ is a great example of the cycle that happens when a kid gets to see themselves a little bit differently and then gives back to the younger ones. DJ was telling me a story of a kid that he is working with in his team named Chance, and Chance is coming out of his bubble, and you know, DJ's pride to see his impact on you know, a young grade 5 kid was really amazing. So yeah, it truly is kind of humbling actually to think of literally thousands of people, whether they be children who have been involved with us or post-secondary students who volunteer with us. It's incredible.
Well, they are also having a special gala happening at the Canadian Museum for Human Rights, and if you want more details on CANU, how it works, and the gala itself, we have a link on our website. Thank you to all of you, and
Thanks,
congratulations.
Michelle. Thank you so much.
Community Connection is brought to you by Mr. Reuter Plumbing. Born to be a hero, trained to be a plumber.
Hi, everyone. Mark Rowe inside the Sports Center newsroom with your must-see moment from Wednesday. We head to D.C. The Capitals were taking on the Blues. Alex Ovechkin sitting on 899 goals. The shot misses the net. There's Ovi on the backhand getting goal number 900. Not known for scoring goals with his backhand. The all-time record holder in goals sets another milestone 7 months after breaking Wayne Gretzky's all-time mark. And that is your must-see moment from Wednesday. Tonight on TSN, it's Thursday Night Football. The Raiders taking on the Broncos with coverage beginning at 7 p.m. Eastern. That's all from the Sports Center newsroom. Have a great day.
The TSN Must-See Moment is brought to you by Super Blinds, helping your home get holiday ready with Blinds by Hunter Douglas.
It's Thursday, November 6th. New Winnipeg restrictions on where homeless encampments may exist. What some advocates are proposing to give those displaced by the rules a place to go instead. Up in the air, flight attendants for another Canadian carrier are demanding a contract that pays them for prep work done on the ground. And a marquee exhibition at a new museum draws thousands to view artifacts from ancient Egypt's most famous ruler. Your Morning Winnipeg starts right now. Good morning, Manitoba. Happy Thursday. And we have a lot in the next hour, including a lot of busy things going on this weekend. We have Disney on Ice, which is happening at the Canada Life Centre. And we also have the Manitoba Country Music Awards. So we're going to talk a little bit more about both of those events that are happening. Some fun for the kids or some for the grown-ups as well. So we're going to have that a little later. But the weather, what's it going to be like this weekend?
No fun for anybody. Oh. I shouldn't say that. The dogs are going to like it. You know that first day that the snow falls and they get the zoomies? Yeah, you'll probably see that today. Although, do you know what? Today, we're more likely to see it showing up in liquid form. Nothing happening just yet. We do have heavier clouds hanging over the city. 0 degrees is where we're sitting, which is actually well above seasonal. A normal low for this time of year would be about -7. So mild temperatures to begin the day, and we'll still make some gains as we continue on. The winds at the moment are out of the southeast, 13 kilometers per hour. The pressure is falling, and the humidity sitting at 82%. So yes, we've got some heavier clouds for now, and for some places, we're already seeing that activity showing up as flurries through parts of southwestern Manitoba and even moving into parts of the southeast, more so right along that southern border. Areas surrounding us certainly, but just not happening at the moment in the Winnipeg area. For parts of northern Manitoba, it's actually looking a little bit clearer and brighter. The cloud coverage nowhere near as heavy. You might even enjoy a little bit of sunshine today. Here in the south, yes, we will have the clouds and then that chance of precipitation. More likely to be in flurries in areas to the west of us. Here in the southeast, when it begins, we could be seeing some showers, or the pink is kind of some freezing rain that we'll have through the day side today. Then as those temperatures drop off overnight, we could be seeing showers changing to flurries Clearing out, though, for tomorrow, back to the sunshine again. But while today the temperatures are still expected to be above seasonal, 1 degree being a normal daytime high, after today for the weekend, we've got a little more sunshine, but colder temperatures staying below the freezing mark. Thank you to Justin, 10 years old, who is sharing his art with us today. And we would love to see what it is that you're working on. Draw, color, or paint, and send that picture to winnipegweather@ctv.ca.
The Weather Art of the Day is brought to you by 103.1 Virgin Radio.
The Manitoba legislature has passed a bill to detain people intoxicated on drugs such as meth for as long as 72 hours instead of 24. It comes after weeks of sparring over the fine details. Both the governing NDP and official opposition Progressive Conservatives agreed the change was needed to better deal with longer-lasting drug effects. However, the PCs wanted amendments to require annual reporting, limiting where these centers could operate and requiring public consultation on new sites. All three were shot down by the NDP. In the end, the bill passed 51-1, with the lone independent MLA voting against it. The fall legislative session ends today. A push is on for the City of Winnipeg to designate spaces for homeless encampments. This comes as camps are being banned near places like playgrounds, schools, and daycares.
Otherwise, they're going to be in ATM vestibules, they're going to be in doorways, in businesses, in stairwells, parkades.
That's the worst case scenario. Some advocates say will await unhoused Winnipeggers under the new rules about where homeless encampments cannot be established. Advocates say if people are removed from those spaces, there has to be an alternative place to go. Councillor Cindy Gilroy wants the city to set up designated encampment sites that would offer supports and services like portable toilets, electricity, garbage collection, and snow removal. She says the camps would be temporary and a step towards getting people housed.
I want it managed by a community organization that can actually triage people into addiction supports, housing, or the shelter system.
At the Community Service Committee Tuesday, the chair said the city may not be able to fund the cost of a managed site without provincial help. Housing, Addictions, and Homelessness Minister Bernadette Smith says the province is collaborating with the city on approaches to homelessness with a focus on building up housing stock. The U.S. government shutdown is taking its toll on air travel. By the end of this week, a number of flights could be affected.
Controllers have been working fastidiously for the last 5 weeks with this huge burden over their head of lack of compensation.
The U.S. Department of Transportation says there will be a 10% reduction in air travel at 40 major U.S. airports starting Friday. If the government shutdown continues, the shutdown now into its 37th day is the longest in U.S. history. Travelers are keeping an eye on talks between WestJet and its flight attendants.
Usually the best ones are like Air Canada, WestJet, but of course with the strike, I just have all this doubts.
The Union for Flight Attendants this week released a cartoon ad laying out their working conditions. Similar to the Air Canada situation, they want to be paid for work done on the ground. The federal NDP have introduced a bill to end unpaid work by flight attendants. It's not known if this bill will go anywhere before the WestJet flight attendants contract expires by the end of the year. In Giza, crowds gathered at the Grand Egyptian Museum for the opening of the Tutankhamun Gallery.
The situation is exceeding all expectations because this is a marvel that you have built here. Congratulations.
The exhibit features large halls displaying more than 5,000 artifacts from King Tut's tomb. The iconic golden mask, throne, and chariots are all under one roof for the first time since their discovery more than a century ago. Here's what's happening now on the St. James Bridge. We have no issues to tell you about, no stalls or delays in this part of the city. If you do see any problems out there, please let us know.
Traffic is brought to you by Mr. Lube Plus Tires. Open late, ready when you are.
Ainsley McPhail, you're going to introduce us now to another artist that will be at Crafted at the Waghammer York this morning, or this weekend rather. Good morning.
There's so much talent in this province, Rochelle, and even beyond. There's 30 different communities representing Crafted this weekend. Scott Sr. joins us now to tell us all about his woodwork. Scott, what a variety you have here. Tell us about it.
Well, thank you. I got started in this journey about 5 years ago, just after COVID or during COVID. Like a lot of people started up hobbies, but it went from frustration to a passion. And now I'm honored to be here for the 3rd year at Crafted and getting to show my wares. This is all hand-carved stuff by me. I use some traditional tools, but I also use some power carving tools, which means more electric fueled tools, but all the finishing work is done by hand tools. And yeah, some different woods here. It's important where I get my woods from, so a lot of this is sustainable to me because I rely on scraps and stuff from table makers, guitar builders, so I'm getting really, really high-end wood, some really rare wood, some local woods too, and it helps to keep all my costs really low. And yeah, I love this as a journey.
And even to grab it and touch it, I'm going, wow, that's really, really soft. Tell us about how you get it that way.
So I take it through, after I finish carving, I take it through a whole sanding process, right down to a very fine grit, and then I finish it all with a really food-safe, allergy-safe, beeswax oils and stuff like that. And so they're waterproof, and all the woods I use are a really dense wood, so because a lot of these are used for cooking utensils and high heat, that you're not worried about getting food and bacteria inside of any cracks or anything like that. So there's a lot of thought that goes into what woods I use.
Details are a big part of that. Before we wrap up the segment, I just wanted to show you guys how strategic it is. So if you come to Crafted this weekend, you can get these one-of-a-kind pieces and have it on your own mantle. Back to you guys.
Beautiful pieces. Thank you, Ainsley. Volunteers in Port Stanley, Ontario are honoring local veterans with thousands of handmade poppies. With more on the message behind the project, here's Lauren Stallone.
In a charming beach town just south of London, this group of women sit and knit. Laughter and conversation fill the room, but their handmade creations tell stories of their own.
A lot of us have experience with vets, or we came from families. My family in particular came from Belgium, and my parents were children during the war.
With many in search of a way to honor and remember fallen soldiers, the Port Stanley Poppy Project came to life.
Just thought someone should do this, and then I also thought, well, maybe that someone should be me.
With more than 15,000 poppies covering the town, organizers say volunteers have dedicated months of their time. They say poppies just like this one take nearly a half an hour to make.
There's barely over 3,000 people in Port Stanley, and the 106 volunteers that worked diligently in creating all these poppies have made this vision come to fruition.
Started back in January of last year, organizers say they were blown away by the community's support.
The reaction and response that we have seen within this community and beyond on what we have accomplished has been incredible. So it's just brought the whole community even closer.
So as the knitted and crocheted poppies sway gently in the wind, serving as a symbol of remembrance, the women sit and knit. Lauren Stallone, CTV News.
And looking now through the Bathfitter Live Eye, Bathfitter, your bath and shower experts for more than 40 years. So it's looking brighter out there thanks to the sun having climbed up behind those clouds. We're just not going to see actual sunshine today, and that's because of the heavier clouds, which will be lasting throughout the day. But that warmth from the sun is already being felt, and we've gained a whole degree already this morning, sitting at +1, which, by the way, that's a normal daytime high. So we're already at seasonal daytime high temps, and it's not even 9 a.m. We're doing okay. Seeing a lot of zeros as we're looking off to the west or through central Manitoba, a few degrees below the freezing mark, just a few. But the further that you go up into northern Manitoba, where the sky is a little bit clearer, it's also a little bit colder. We've got some minus double digits all throughout much of northern Manitoba. You might see a little more sunshine, but also perhaps some scattered precipitation across northern Manitoba. With the heavier clouds, we're more likely to see that precipitation rolling through, and for many places starting out as flurries. That's what we're seeing showing up up on the satellite map right now. But as the day goes on, I mentioned we're in for above seasonal temperatures. So it will warm us up enough that by the time the precipitation shows up for us, we're more likely to see it beginning as showers. That'll be later on this afternoon as kids are starting to get home from school. Then as the overnight temperatures take us below the freezing mark, showers could change to flurries. And for the weekend, well, tomorrow and throughout the weekend, below seasonal temperatures, not even cracking the freezing mark. We will get back to zero and even above as we're looking ahead to next week. Taking a break, but we'll be back with Your Morning Winnipeg.
The Bank of Canada is planning to eliminate hundreds of jobs, about 10% of its workforce, as Prime Minister Mark Carney aims to reduce government expenses. About 225 employees at the central bank will be affected, according to a memo seen by Bloomberg News. The cuts will take place over the next few months and be completed by June. And the Canadian government is considering privatizing airports, reigniting an idea that was studied but then shelved nearly a decade ago. Openness to changing the ownership structure of airports across the country, which together are worth billions of dollars, is contained in a single line in Tuesday's budget, the first from Prime Minister Mark Carney. The government will also consider options for the privatization of airports. That's what it says, the budget document. After laying out preliminary ways the government plans to unlock more of the economic potential of Canada's airports and consider new ways to attract private sector investment. Most Americans, including Republicans, continue to view Canada positively in economic and trade matters, even as U.S. President Donald Trump directs anger at his northern neighbor. The poll indicates that 75% of Americans said they either trusted completely or somewhat trusted Canada's intentions to negotiate in good faith. That number was 90% for respondents who identified as Democrats and 67% for Republicans. When asked a similar question about Trump, only 52% said he would negotiate in good faith. Those are your morning business headlines. For B&M Bloomberg, I'm Roger Peterson.
It's Manitoba's way to celebrate our hometown country music heroes. The 10th Manitoba Country Music Awards are happening this Saturday. Well-known and loved local country band Doc Walker is hosting the awards show, and the band is also going to be inducted into the Manitoba Country Music Hall of Fame that night. Doc Walker will also perform with many other of Manitoba's top country artists. Joining us now to tell us more about the show Saturday is the president of the Manitoba Country Music Association, Miles Tratch. Good morning, Miles.
Good morning. How are you?
Well, I'm great. Thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, it's absolutely my pleasure.
Happy anniversary, 10 years.
Thank you.
Tell us a little bit about how it all began and how it's grown over the last decade.
Well, I've been involved with the MCMA for a long time, I think 16 or 17 years. But back in 2014-ish, we thought, well, what is the best way that we can help the community grow, the country music community grow? And of course, an award show kind of sets a bar for people to strive for, right? Mm-hmm. There's an award that you can win, and it just brought the community together, and it gave people a reason to kind of elevate what they were doing and record, and it's all friendly competition between the artists, but it's not just celebrating artists either, though. It's celebrating radio stations and radio personalities and anything involved with the country music community in Manitoba.
It's also a good way to network and meet each other.
Absolutely, yeah. You know, I've talked to several of the artists and people who were nominated for awards and in the last little bit, and they're all very excited about the opportunity to all come together as a community on Saturday at the Country Music Awards.
And last year was sold out.
It was. Well, okay, three seats shy of sold out, but they were singles scattered throughout the theater, so we call it sold out, and it's looking pretty close to that already for this year too.
That's very exciting. Okay, well, let's talk about Manitoba's country music scene, because in my opinion, it feels like there are a lot of musicians out there. More and more are making a big name for themselves. How have things changed in the Manitoba's landscape when it comes to country music?
I think having these awards to strive for is big, of course, but there's a lot of really great young artists coming up in the last 5 years, I would say. And they're doing great things, not just performing here in Manitoba, but kind of taking Manitoba music outside of the country. I mean, you look at our good friend Desiree Dorian. Yeah. She just came back from doing 2 visits to Europe to perform there, representing Manitoba country music.
That is
And
so cool.
It is very cool.
And of course, Desiree has been here in studio with us and sort of showcased her music, which
Yeah.
we're very proud of her. Let's talk about Doc Walker, because
Yes.
they've been on the music scene in this province for 25 years. They're not only
Yeah.
hosting the show, they're also getting inducted in the Hall of Fame. Set the scene for me. Describe what impact Doc Walker has had on this community.
You know, they're just such good ambassadors for Manitoba. Their music is Manitoban. They're both Manitoba boys from Portage or Portage area, Portage the Prairie. And I remember when the guys first started kind of performing 25 or more years ago, actually. I think it's going to be 25 years since the 24 or 25 years since the release of their first commercial album. But they were out there really working hard to get a name for themselves, and now they're kind of, when people think of Manitoba country music, they think of in other places in the country,
Yeah.
they think of Doc Walker because they're just such good representations of our country music in our province.
So the show is almost sold out. Still a chance to do some events, though. On Friday there's an event, and then maybe a few tickets that you can get your hands on for Saturday.
Right, Friday we're having a kickoff party at Nashville's. It's the official kickoff party for the Manitoba Country Music Weekend.
Yeah.
And we'll have a bit of a forum at the beginning of the night with some people from Manitoba Music is helping us out with this. People from Toronto who are going to be doing some marketing explanations and promotion and stuff like that. And then Saturday is the big show, and there are still some tickets available.
So get your hands while you can, because it's going to go fast. Thank you so much, Miles, for sharing this with us. If you want more info, we have a link on our website.
All right, it's pleasant out here. I'm going to go ahead and say that. Our temperatures are already at what would be a normal daytime high. At 1 degree, that is in fact normal for this time of year. Sure, we're not going to be seeing much in the way of sunshine, but we're also not dealing with too much in the way of a wind, not at this time anyway, and that may change. Winds could increase, but for right now, I guess they have picked up a little bit. I'm not noticing it here on the rooftop. I'm pleasantly sheltered from that gusting to 28 wind that's coming out of the southeast this morning. The pressure is falling. The humidity sitting at 77%. So either find yourself in a nice place sheltered from the breeze or join me on the rooftop up here and see what it feels like. So these temperatures are in fact normal for this time of year. And I say enjoy it because after today things will be cooling down. But after today things will be looking a little bit brighter. Today, however, itself, we're not going to be seeing much in the way of sunshine. We've already got the heavier clouds. There will be precipitation moving in. Flurries already in parts of the west, central and southwestern Manitoba. We may start with showers but then changing to flurries as those temperatures drop off overnight. And it will clear out for tomorrow, but that's when I say it'll get a little bit cool with the temperatures tomorrow and through the weekend, not even cracking the freezing mark. Our Northern Lights photo is absolutely stunning, spotted right here in Winnipeg last night at around 9 p.m. Thanks to Derek for the photo. And keep them coming, please, to Winnipeg weather at ctv.ca. We're taking a break, but we'll be back with Your Morning Winnipeg.
We will never forget your bravery, your strength, your sacrifice.
The very best and bravest of our nation, these heroic souls stood on guard for freedom.
Join the CTV News team and me as Canada comes together to remember.
Remembrance Day 2025, Tuesday morning at 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific on CTV.
Canada struck a cultural tone in the budget, making a pitch to secure a spot in the Eurovision song competition. It is one of the world's most watched non-sporting events, drawing hundreds of millions of viewers globally. CTV's Geneviève Bushman reports.
A show of fireworks filled with glitter and at times self-parody. The Eurovision Song Contest has also long been known as a vehicle for nation branding and cultural diplomacy.
It really has been a mirror of the political and social change in Europe, and that's why people love to watch it as well.
The contest was first held in 1956. Switzerland won then. It's now watched by hundreds of millions of viewers. And some say it's no wonder that at this moment, Canada wants in hopes of furthering ties with Europe.
The core countries of Eurovision are EU members with which Canada shares democratic values.
And despite its name, broadcasters from non-European countries too, including Australia, have joined the chorus of participants. And while Canada has never joined in, some Canadians have. In 1988, Switzerland famously borrowed our Céline Dion. She won. Eurovision's inclusion in this country's budget, with details and figures yet to be revealed, hit a sour note for some. A Conservative MP took to X, saying, "Can't afford groceries? Don't worry, the Liberal budget is exploring participation by CBC in Eurovision."
I think it'd be great. I don't know if it's like Eurovision is, yeah, why not? Why not, right?
On Montreal streets, there's some applause for the bid, including from these American tourists.
Like Canada, 100%.
We have American Idol. It's kind of bad, but we're kind of bad, so it works. Like it fits what we're doing down there. So yeah, we don't deserve Eurovision.
Canada definitely, yes, should be involved. Yeah.
And so it seems there's still quite a bit of exploring to do before Canada is in the spotlight at Eurovision. Geneviève Beauchemin, CTV News, Montreal.
As the old saying goes, if these walls could talk, the stories they would tell. Well, the walls at the 111-year-old Isaac Brock School have lots of stories to share. And thanks to a discovery at the school, some are being revealed.
Do not open until 2013 or else.
Grade 7 students at Isaac Brock School recently got an opportunity to explore the school's attic as part of their studies. That's where students discovered a bag full of letters written by grade 7 students in 1999. Those kids are now adults, and the class is trying to get in contact with them.
We actually had one reach out earlier this week that wants to come in. They were so excited to be reached out to. But what we found is just that the internet can only get you so far. And with people's name changes and moving, it can be tricky.
The school is hoping those former students will hear about the letters and reach out. So if any of the letter writers are interested in getting them back, they're asked to call the school. We're getting a better look at where Olympic athletes will be spending their time when not competing in Italy this coming winter. While the accommodations isn't quite complete, it's close. One village is built on a former public railway site near Milan. Organizers say the project is focused on innovative and sustainable design, and after the games, the village will quickly be converted to student housing. There are 6 villages in total for the Milan Cortina Games. All of them will include 24-hour fitness centers, self-service laundries, prayer rooms, and more.
Your Morning Winnipeg. Coffee is brought to you by Robin's Donuts, your favorite stop.
One degree outside, and we've got some heavier clouds hanging over the city with a bit of a breeze out of the southeast, gusting now to 28 kilometers per hour. The pressure is falling and the humidity is sitting at 77%. So those winds have increased and the clouds have stacked up, and before long we could see some precipitation. We've not seen anything so far this morning, but it's only a matter of time. You can see all through southern Manitoba how this system is passing through, bringing flurries for the morning at least. Like I said, we haven't seen it yet, and maybe by the time it does in fact roll over us, it will be in liquid form. Certainly if that's the case later on today, showers are more likely than flurries because we're headed to an above seasonal high today of 4 degrees. But those winds could at times gust to 40 kilometers per hour, with that chance of showers then changing to flurries overnight, because that's when the temperatures will be cooling off, dropping down to -5. Now, for a reference point, -7, that's in fact a normal low temperature, and a seasonal daytime high, 1 degree. So getting up to 4 today will surpass it, but we're not likely to surpass it tomorrow, and we might not even crack the freezing mark. A much cooler -3 expected for tomorrow, with a nice bit of sunshine returning, but some stronger winds increasing. Those winds tomorrow out of the north at times could be gusting to 50 kilometers per hour. The sunshine, once it returns tomorrow, will last throughout the weekend, but so too will these below seasonal temperatures. Staying below freezing, with us just getting back to the freezing mark by Monday, which will be a seasonal daytime high by then, but we'll surpass that a couple days into next week with a little more sunshine on the way.
Thank you, Terry. A teen girl is dead and another is in custody following a reported assault in a northern First Nations community. RCMP and paramedics were sent to a home in Opaskwayak Cree Nation near the Paw Saturday afternoon. There they found the body of a 15-year-old girl. Then on Tuesday, Mounties arrested a 17-year-old from the community. She's now charged with manslaughter. RCMP say the investigation is ongoing, but a spokesperson adds the alleged incident is not believed to be random and the two share a family connection. Investigators are not looking for any other suspects. Why would anyone want to steal more than 160 pairs of socks? A Winnipeg woman is scratching her head, trying to figure out why someone broke into her car and made off with her donation for a local charity.
After collecting for so long and seeing them gone, the first thing I thought was, oh no, I'm letting these people down now. I don't have them to donate.
Ashley Monroe had 164 pairs of socks in her car collected from a community sock drive. She was going to donate them to Main Street Project as part of the shelter's Socktober campaign. But before she got a chance to drop them off, someone broke into her car while it was parked on Martha Street, leaving Monroe with a smashed window and no socks.
I just hope that whoever took them is, handing them out to the people who need them. That's what they were for, is for people who need them to keep their feet warm throughout the winter. So I'm really hoping that that's what they're being used for, that they're getting handed out and everybody's going to have warm toes.
Monroe is now hoping to collect more socks to donate. She's had some financial donations so she can buy some new socks. If you want to donate, visit Main Street Project's website. The next time you're looking for medical advice, you'll have to try somewhere other than ChatGPT. For better or worse, many Canadians turn to the internet for guidance on how to deal with health issues. And nowadays, that often means AI tools like ChatGPT. But parent company OpenAI recently updated its policies, so the chatbot won't offer medical or legal advice. The rules now state that ChatGPT can't be used for tailored advice that requires a license. A study led by researchers at the University of Waterloo found the bot only got 31% of open-ended medical questions entirely correct. More than 100 white crosses in one Cape Breton community honor the memories of the men from that area who went to war and never came home. CTV's Ryan McDonald takes us to this special memorial.
They call it the Field of Heroes. These crosses in Sydney Mines honor the men from the community who went to war and didn't return.
They're the roll, perfect lined up. The committee that does it does a great job.
There are 138 wooden crosses. 76 are for those who were killed during the First World War, 59 from the Second World War, and 1 from the Korean War. There is also 1 cross each representing the Merchant Marines and the unknown soldier.
All the names of Cenotaph are on the crosses. It's beautiful. Everybody comes every day. You take pictures.
The crosses were made by members of the Branch 8 Legion with help from a local contractor. And while the names are already on the cenotaph next to the Field of Heroes, those behind the project say to see the veterans' names on the crosses hits a bit different.
People call and want to know, could they put a cross here for one of their father or mother as a veteran? But we tell them no, it is only for the deceased members of the cenotaph. But again, the feedback is in the community is awesome.
Each year, the Remembrance Day service here in Sydney Mines is held here at the cenotaph along Main Street, with hundreds of people typically turning out.
Well, after a service, the people go down and you take pictures. You take their grandchildren down and walk through, have a look. It's amazing.
Each cross has been fitted with a light, giving the field a different look at night. But it's a striking display in daylight too, particularly on a day when the flags that line the rows move in the wind.
I feel proud, very proud.
A fitting tribute and a tradition that's expected to be upheld for years to come. Ryan McDonald, CTV News, Sydney Mines.
Here's what's happening in traffic now on the Norwood Bridge. Things are moving well over in this part of the city. We have no issues to tell you about at this point in the drive. And let's look now at your gas prices. The Canadian average is $1.35. The provincial average is lower at $1.27. In Winnipeg, the average is $1.26. And the lowest price in the city is $1.16. All this info is on GasBuddy.com.
The Price at the Pump is brought to you by the Kidney Foundation. Help by donating your card today.
For our cue of the day, we wanted to know, what old movie would you like to see resurrected? One Your Morning viewer says they've always wanted to see a Constantine 2. Lindsay says another Underworld movie because Kate Beckinsale portrayed an awesome vampire. Olivia would like a remake of Back to the Future. Marlene says The Outsiders and Grease. Jackie would love to see Logan's Run remade with the lead played by Tom Holland, as well as Lost Boys, Children of the Corn, and The Breakfast Club. Another Your Morning viewer says the Terrence Hill hokey comedic westerns. My Name is Nobody. Nobody is my name, and Nobody. Thank you for that. Louise says High Plains Drifter, starring Clint Eastwood, calling it a true classic. Michelle says none. Leave the old movies alone. Well, thank you very much for your responses. Let's go now to Ainsley McPhail, who's live at the Wagamama York this morning. We're talking about Craft It. It starts this weekend. Good morning.
Good morning, and what an opportunity it is for people to have one-of-a-kind pieces and even support local as well. Tammy Sutherland joins us now to talk about the Manitoba Craft Council's partnership with the WAG to make this all happen. 11 years now. What does that partnership look like, Tammy?
Yeah, well, this is an amazing partnership. This is exactly what the Craft Council was looking for 11 years ago when we were trying to find alternative venues for our artists to showcase their work. I mean, the WAG has just been fabulous to work with, and I think for most people, they sort of see the WAG as sort of the pinnacle in terms of excellence in art, and so to align ourselves with that is just amazing. And our craftspeople, absolutely, their work deserves that kind of platform.
Mm-hmm. And it bridges the gap because you've got over 100 different crafters coming in here. What can we expect?
Oh, you're going to get some of everything. There's a wide range of media, wide range of prices. So you're going to find ceramics, textiles, glass, people working in all sorts of creative, unique ways that you haven't seen before. So yeah.
Well, I can't wait. We've had the privilege of interacting with them this morning, and even to touch them, I'm like, oh, I love this. When it comes to supporting local, we talk about it, but we don't always live it out. This event is a perfect opportunity.
Yes, yeah. I was just thinking earlier this morning that during the COVID-19 situation, people came out and supported local like crazy. I think they realized, again, the importance of kind of that local supply. And now with the tariff situation as it is, I think a lot of people don't realize how big of an impact it has on craftspeople and how big the community of craftspeople is. Almost 30,000 people across Canada are practicing craftspeople. So coming out and supporting local now, when so many of our craftspeople have lost that big market into the U.S., it's just more important than ever. And there's such a great community spirit here and so much to choose from. I think everyone will find something they love here.
We're almost out of time. Real quick, when's it happening?
It is happening starting tomorrow, November 7 to 9.
I wanted her to say it because she's got so much enthusiasm. Head here tomorrow. It's at the WAG. More details on our website.
Thank you, Ainsley. Let's go out to the rooftop now.
If Ainsley doesn't take a moment to get her picture with that fish and make that her new profile pic, that will be a missed opportunity for the morning.
Such a cool bag, indeed.
Absolutely.
How's it feeling out there?
You know, pleasant. I'm going to go ahead and say that because we're already at what would be a normal daytime high, but we're still likely to tack another few degrees onto this today, putting us above seasonal for one more day before the cool down sets in. That cool down could come or it could kick off with some precipitation later today. 1 degree right now with some clouds. We're not seeing that precipitation just yet. We are noticing that breeze increasing though out of the southeast, gusting to 28 clicks. The pressure is falling, the humidity sitting at 77%. So with these clouds will come that chance of precipitation, which so far has been showing up in flurry form across the south. But as these temperatures warm another couple degrees, we'll likely see it beginning in shower form. It may not stay that way though, because the temperatures will of course then drop off overnight, and as they slip below the freezing mark, showers could change to flurries. It will though clear out for tomorrow. We're going to see a return to the sunshine. It's just not going to warm us up. Tomorrow and through the weekend, we might not even crack the freezing mark. We've got some below seasonal temps on tap after today until next week when the temperatures rebound again. But make sure that you're throwing an extra layer on for tomorrow, because as cool as it might seem today, tomorrow will be colder yet, but sunnier too, so grab the sunglasses. You'll be needing them for the weekend. Taking a break right now. We'll be back with more Your Morning Winnipeg.
Weather brought to you by Blinds Are Beautiful, helping your home get holiday ready with blinds from Hunter Douglas.
Have a news tip? When you see news happening, let CTV News Winnipeg know. Text your tips, pictures, and videos to 10400. That's 10400. Message and data rates may apply.
Scoring an 8-ender is very rare in curling, so imagine doing it in your 80s. That happened recently at a Calgary curling club. CTV's Glenn Campbell reports.
Ingrid Saunders has been curling for 50 years.
I love curling, the camaraderie, the challenge.
Recently, the 88-year-old Skip and her team was up for the challenge. They did something most curlers never do. They scored an 8-ender.
Well, it wasn't planned, but after I seen 6 yellow stones, my mind was working, and it worked. So our team played perfect, very well.
Team Saunders is all the talk right now at the Garrison Curling Club, and rightly so. The odds of scoring an 8 under is very rare.
A hole-in-one, the odds are 1 in 12,000, and an 8-ender in curling is 1 in 120,000. So most people don't even come anywhere close to it.
The unbelievable part of this story is it's not the first 8-ender for Flo Volko. She also did it back in 1992 at a women's bonspiel in Banff. This time around, the 81-year-old was throwing skip stones for Team Saunders. She was shocked to have yet another 8-ender.
Because I had a pacemaker put in, and this was my first day back curling. No warm-up, no anything. I got on the ice, and the curling gods were with me, because I made 2 of the most perfect shots to take them out and give us an 8-ender.
Saunders says curling keeps her young, and she plans on playing for a little while longer.
Maybe 90. We hope a couple more years.
As for Volko, perhaps she should buy a lottery ticket.
People keep saying I did go buy one, but I didn't win.
Glenn Campbell, CTV Sports, Calgary.
Look out, kids. Mickey, Minnie, Donald, and Goofy are back in Winnipeg for Disney's On Ice's Let's Dance show, and they're bringing many of their friends from the films Wish, Frozen 2, The Little Mermaid, and even The Lion King. Joining us now is the Disney On Ice ensemble skater, Jasmine Bazugli. Good morning, Jasmine.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me again.
Thanks for taking your skates off for us and joining us here in studio. Now, you've been skating since you were 3 years old, so this has been a part of your life for a long, long time.
Yeah.
But Disney on Ice was never really something that you thought about as a career move for yourself. Tell me why.
Yeah, well, growing up in rural Saskatchewan, it wasn't really something that was super common.
Okay.
But I was in skating my whole life. You know, my brothers played hockey, my dad played hockey, and he coached, and my mom had me in dance pretty much just as long as I was skating as well. And so I really loved both of those things. And then when I discovered Disney when I was in my first year of university, it really was an opportunity to combine both of those loves into one and make a career out of it.
And then you auditioned right here in Winnipeg.
I did.
Tell us about that.
Yeah, so I auditioned then at the end of my first year of university in 2016, if I'm doing my math correctly. Yeah. And yeah, I had a live audition here, and then I was hired that fall, and I've been here ever since.
You're an ensemble skater. You also play one of the daughters, Triton's daughters, in The Little Mermaid. You're also have more of a leadership role. Tell us about what you do exactly.
Yeah. So I'm one of the line captains in the show, so it's a very special role, and I love it so much. And I'm responsible for teaching all of the choreography to every single number in the show.
Wow.
But then I'm also the assistant to our performance director, and I help with anything that kind of goes on behind the scenes and behind the curtain line during the actual show and during the production. And I'm a really go-between kind of person. So.
And you're not only on the ice, you're also kind of flying in the air in this performance. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so we actually have like 4 different aerial apparatuses in the show. I'm a part of one of them, and so I'm one of the daughters of Triton, and we actually all go up into this aerial hoop routine. So there's 7 girls flying in the air performing this aerial apparatus like 32 feet above the ice.
What's your favorite part about this job?
I just love how there's always something new to learn, and there's always something new to experience and new people as well that I get to meet, and all of those connections, and then performing for audiences all over the world and really bringing so much joy wherever I go is just really an amazing experience.
Yes, and you did mention you play Triton's daughter, but there are so many other characters that you're also doing. Tell us about what's happening backstage to make this all look so seamless on the ice.
Well, we have a huge production and huge crew that help us put together everything. You know, it takes like 14 hours to put everything together in a new city that we come to, and every opening day we have what's called validation and rehearsal. So we have about 7 hours on our opening day where we kind of put everything together, test out the new venue, and make sure we have everything kind of all lined up so we can have a great performance for the rest of the weekend.
Lots of wardrobe changes throughout the show as well.
Yeah, we have the most costumes than any other touring Feld production currently.
Cool.
Yeah, we have so many costumes, we have so many props, over 150 different props, some of them small, just like this fabric poi here, and then we also have a giant mobile stage that's like over 5,000 pounds that moves on the ice and elevates performers like 12 feet in the air. That's so much going on.
It sounds fun. Okay, so Disney on Ice is happening. It starts tomorrow, right?
Yes.
Okay, tell us about what people can expect from the show.
So people can expect to be part of one giant dance party. Mickey Mouse and his pals are rocking a DJ booth, and they remix our favorite Disney songs from the stories: The Lion King, Frozen 2, Little Mermaid, Moana, and Wish. Okay. And we really encourage the audience to be part of that dance party. We want people up and dancing and singing along as well, because we have these huge LED screens above the ice that project song lyrics, so you actually will know the lyrics, so you can have that opportunity to sing alongside us and the 40 different characters that we have in the show.
Oh my gosh, so fun. A giant karaoke while watching some beautiful things on the ice. Thank you so much for sharing this with us. If you want more information, we have a link on our website. Thanks, Jasmine.
Thank you so much.
That sounds like so much fun to sing along. I mean, I wouldn't need the lyrics, probably. I would sing my own ones, but it's good to have them up there just in case. All right, outside today, it's 1 degree. We got some heavier clouds hanging over us. Southeast winds gusting to 28 kilometers per hour with the pressure falling and the humidity sitting at 77%. All right, with those clouds, there's a chance that we could be seeing some mixed precipitation today. A little bit of flurry activity by the time it gets right over Winnipeg, because so far it's just kind of been bypassing us. We might in fact see it as showers first, but then changing to flurries once those temperatures start to drop off overnight. After today, the sun will be back. That's going to be good news, but it's going to be a little bit cooler. So brace yourself for some below seasonal temperatures. 1 degree, by the way, is normal for this time of year. So surpassing it today, but remaining below it throughout the weekend. With that sunshine, it'll look good. Just throw those extra layers on. Back to the freezing mark by Monday. Heavier clouds to kick off the week. As we continue on through the week, we'll see the sunshine back again. And you're going to see us back again. We'll be hanging around here right after this break with Your Morning Winnipeg.
Rooftop arrangements provided by Lacoste Garden Center. Salon services provided by S&T Spa Salon.
For many, skydiving even once in their lifetime is a huge feat, but for this 86-year-old, that's nothing. Parachuting championship gold medalist Kim Noor is just one dive away from her 1,000 jump goal. Her first jump was in 1959 when she was just 18 years old.
That's incredible. Have you ever done that?
Twice, yeah.
What?
Yeah, I dove twice, yeah.
Wow,
one with
that's
tandem,
cool.
one without, yeah.
We got a few to go to
scary.
catch up to her.
Well, if you're looking for something bright to brighten up these dark and early nights, here's a suggestion.
Stand up! Stand up!
This is Hennifer. She's an 8-foot-tall custom-made disco ball sculpture. This queen of the coop is handcrafted and covered head to toe in hundreds of thousands of mirrored tiles and glittering gold legs.
Is that the weirdest thing you've ever seen?
Yes, and the music is good though. Well, it's officially sweater weather, and if you didn't already know, each one has its own personality. Personality that is. Joe decided to show his girlfriend how each of her sweaters would dance at a party, and he's really into it, and he's good. Have a good day. See you tomorrow.